Alongside Nedim Barami, the Albanian. Barami, who started every Europa League group game so far for Rangers this season. Then there's an attacking three: Černý, Vaclav Černý, the Czech international, off the right-hand side. Mo Diamande in the number 10 role. Jefte, the Brazilian, on the left-hand side. And then through the centre, the Moroccan forward, Hamza Egeman, who has scored 5 goals this season. The Tottenham players have got into a huddle down in the corner by where they're travelling fans from London are housed. Very much the sort of thing Celtic would do if this was an Old Firm derby, and that is what is bringing the boos out of the Rangers fans here.
Yeah, you don't do huddles in here as the opposition team. They certainly don't like it. I wonder if that's a little instruction for the manager or not.
So here we go, Rangers against Tottenham. They started this week in this Europa League campaign. Rangers were 8th, Tottenham were 9th, both with 10 points. The way the games have gone already tonight, Rangers dropped down to 10th, Tottenham at 11. We welcome listeners tuning our way on BBC Radio London tonight, joining listeners on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. We are underway, Tottenham playing from left to right. The boos you'll tell whenever Tottenham are in possession. Bentancur, who's serving a domestic ban but eligible to play tonight, gets a touch in the midfield, and Brennan Johnson plays a lovely pass over to Timo Werner. There's no one marking him, into the penalty area. Timo Werner, and James Tavernier sweeps across to make the challenge and to put it out for a corner. And Tottenham looking sharp inside the opening 30 seconds there, 0-0.
Yeah, they were, and Rangers trying to press Tottenham, trying to win the ball high up the pitch. 4 or 5 passes and Timo Werner's running into the box 1v1. It's well defended in the end, but Rangers need to go and defend the corner now. But it's really quick play from Tottenham.
Rangers haven't lost a game since October. James Maddison is going to take the corner from the far side. In-swinger too close to the goalkeeper, and Jack Butland holds on to it. 6th time that Butland has played against Spurs in his career. Only once has he been on the winning side against them. That was when he was with Stoke City almost a decade ago. Boos as Tottenham regained possession. Fraser Forster, who'll get extra boos tonight because Ange Postecoglou's not the only one with a Celtic connection.
No, and James Maddison's in there as well with his Aberdeen connection. Not well liked around these parts either. But you expect that. Fraser Forster, I'm sure, will enjoy being in here.
James Maddison, in his Aberdeen days, he had a loan spell when he was a youngster, scored a brilliant free kick against Rangers, and Tottenham fans will hope that he'll get the chance for that sort of set piece this evening. Gray on the edge of the Tottenham box, gives it to Pedro Porro, no messing around there. He pumps it long up over the halfway line. Brendan will try and keep it in play, but Brennan Johnson unable to do that, and it goes out for a throw into Rangers left full-back position. For them, Spurs team, Fraser Forster in goal, Porro, Gray, Dragusin and Udogie, the back four. No Van de Ven, no Christian Romero, both injured on their comebacks at the weekend. Bentancur able to play even though he's got that 7-match domestic suspension. James Maddison back in the midfield too. Yves Bissouma, who gave away a silly free kick against Chelsea on Sunday, he holds his place in the team. Johnson, Son and Werner are the top 3, and Son has started through the middle. We wondered if Timo Werner might get that role, but Werner very much on the left hand side. Here's Jefte on the left hand side, pink boots for Rangers, plays it towards the edge of the area. Good work from Ashley Gray to get there, but then he loses possession. Yilmaz in the box, sends it in low. Dragusin on the edge of his own 6-yard box makes the block, and then Archie Gray, how cool is that? Drops his shoulder, swerves away from trouble and clears the ball away. I mean, it's cool to the point of looking casual, but it worked for Archie Gray.
Yeah, it did. It looked like he was going to just swing at it with his left foot, and he felt that there was too much trouble and traffic in there, so he just dropped the shoulder onto the right. He's trying to get up to Son.
Ball over the top, looks like Yilmaz is offside, no flag though, play on for now. Shot comes in from Yegerman, but he slices it outside of the left foot of the Moroccan and way wide of Fraser Forster's goal. Goal kick to Tottenham, Rangers 0, Spurs 0. 5 Live, BBC Sounds at BBC Radio London.
Yeah, Yilmaz is making that run from the left wing area, and that's a slight surprise to me. I thought that Yilmaz would play at left back and Jefte would play ahead of him like many others did, but it's Yilmaz, it's a further forward by Rami in behind Egeman. But the start for Rangers, you can hear, when Archie Gray, we're saying it's nice and cool and calm, and it is great, but the Rangers fans applaud it because the ball gets kicked back to Rangers and they're allowed to then be high up the pitch, and it's been a really bright start for Rangers.
Rangers applying good pressure. Egeman again rolls it infield, this time to Jefte. He tries to cross it, he's deflected away off the Romanian Dragusin. It goes out for a throw into Rangers attacking position left hand side. They're keen to take it quickly. You have to looking for options level with the edge of the penalty area that Rangers attack. It's a still night, there's no real wind around, but it is that sort of dead cold that gets into your bones, and they're all wrapped up warm to come out here tonight. Ange Postecoglou, who's taken out a big jacket that he probably hasn't worn since he worked here in Scotland. It's one of those sleeping bag jackets, and he's wearing it down to our right hand side with his shiny leather shoes, and standing very close to Philippe Clement, just to his right hand side. Clement, who's been in the job for just over a year. This month last year, Clement won his first trophy as a Rangers manager. He's hoping to retain that League Cup crown on Sunday in the final against Celtic. That's all of the backdrop to this as well. Butland wearing bright pink. What a ball that's proven to be. And charging on here is Igaman into the penalty area. Dragoshin really good, strong, made the challenge and made sure that no shot came through. But that was another Rangers chance. They still have possession here. Yilmaz on the left hand side, twisting and turning with Pedro Porro. Gives it to Yefte, number 22 on his back, and then the flag is raised because between the two of them, one was offside. Tottenham stepped up together. Good defending from Ange Postecoglou's team. James McFadden.
And that's the problem when you have two full-backs playing, together. If you've got a left winger, a left midfielder, when it comes to Yilmaz, he has to delay, step inside, wait for the run of Yefte coming outside him. He tries to go on his own. By that point it's too late. Yefte's offside, but previously to that, Igaman getting onto a clearance down the middle of the pitch, almost getting through, well defended by Dragoshin. But this has been a brilliant start for Rangers.
Another roar from the Rangers crowd as Nicholas Raskin regains possession in the midfield, gives it over to the right hand side to James Tavernier, who turned 33 in October but remains one of the main men for Rangers. They try to get into the penalty area with Cherney. He dropped the shoulder. Udogi's very good in those one-on-one situations, and Tottenham regained possession. Last touch goes off Tavernier and out for a throw into Spurs. Left full-back position for them. Destiny Udogi, who's playing his 20th game in all competitions. He's very much an Ange favourite.
Yeah, and I can see why, because you watch Ange Postecoglou's side up here for Celtic, so you speak about the forward players and how much they are key to how he plays, but the full-backs are massive. Coming inside, playing almost at times a midfielder, showing that energy. I'm not surprised.
When Ange Postecoglou was Celtic manager, he played 4 games here at Ibrox. He was only victorious in one of them. He knows this is a tricky place to come. Raskin looks up, good vision, sees that Tavernier's got loads of space on the right hand side. Werner trying to run back. That's a great ball from Tavernier, but Dragoshin is able to nip in and intercept it ahead of Barami, who'd made the burst forward. Rangers have rolled up their sleeves here. Great determination. They know they're up against a wounded beast here in Spurs, and they want to give them as unwelcome an arrival here in Glasgow as they can.
Yeah, I mean, apart from scoring a goal, it's been a great start for Rangers, probably a dream start, because Spurs looked with that first attack as if they were in the mood and they were going to move the ball quick, and it'd be a long night for Rangers. But Rangers have really done so well to get the pressure on Spurs and win the ball high up the pitch and cause a threat themselves. Although Fraser Forster hasn't been what they look threatening, so it's been a good start for Rangers.
Rangers 0, Tottenham 0. Spurs' last away game in this group was a difficult one. They had a tough night in Istanbul. They faced 28 shots against Galatasaray. It was the most faced by an English team in a Europa League game for the last decade. So far, Rangers have started in a dominant mood here as well. Let's get an update from the Women's Champions League. Earlier on, Arsenal were in action in Vålerenga, but Manchester City are playing St Bolton at the moment, and Sarah Mulcairns is watching.
Dominant so far for the hosts. It is goalless between City and St Bolton. Manchester City dominating possession, making good breaks down the left. 18-year-old Lily Murphy, she's making her first full team start. She's been ever so lively down that left-hand side and got a low shot away that was saved. It's Manchester City 0, St Bolton 0.
Thanks very much, Sarah. Chance here for Spurs. Timo Werner couldn't keep it down though, went for the postage stamp corner and it sailed over the crossbar. James McFadden.
Yeah, it's great play from Son to get turned, driving at the back line, but it's well defended. He goes down looking for the free kick. Referee's having none of it, and it goes to Udogi, who I thought because you were just speaking about him would maybe have a shot and find the back of the net, but he lays it to Werner just outside him. He steps onto it with his right foot, opens up, he's trying to just pass it high into that far corner and it goes over the bar. But nice and positive from Spurs, because they've struggled really to get out in the first 6 or 7 minutes.
Earlier on, Roma beat Braga 3-0 in this competition. Manchester United were given a bit of a scare, but 2 goals from Rasmus Højlund saw them win in the Czech Republic against Victoria Pleasant. Pleasant won, Manchester United 2. That's an important result for Ruben Amorim, whose honeymoon has been spectacularly short. As Maddison here gives it up to the halfway line, Son is able to turn and he feeds the German Timo Werner down the left hand side. Werner, who's played against Rangers before with Leipzig and Chelsea, but he runs into Tavernier there, and Tavernier just judged that so well. The old adage, keep your eye on the ball, and he ignored the shimmying of Werner, and he made a really good tackle, and he set Czerny on his way here, and Rangers into the penalty area, and the shot flashes over the top, and that's really good. One end to the other football from Philippe Clement's team. The Rangers fans are loving how their team has started here.
Absolutely, and it starts with James Tavernier. He's come in for a lot of stick throughout his time at Rangers defensively, but he does brilliant against Timo Werner. Plays it into Bayrami, who plays it then first time to Czerny in the wide area. He doesn't just watch and see what his teammate's going to do. He gets round him, knowing Czerny's going to cut into his left foot. And I was wondering if Czerny was able to see Bayrami. He did. He played the pass, nicely waited for him to step on it first time, and Fraser Forster's had to tip it over the bar. But electric attack from Rangers.
Tavernier is one of the highest scoring right backs in footballing history. 128 goals he scored for Rangers, ridiculous for number 2. He's taken the corner here short. Czerny, what a delivery, out with 2 fists of punches. Fraser Forster, and then the follow-up from Yilmaz. He couldn't keep it down, and he puts it over the crossbar. It's another chance though for the home side. They'll want to capitalise on this good form that they're having at the moment in the game.
Yes, they will, and I think Fraser Forster has to catch the first one that comes in. He's unopposed, he's under no pressure, and he elects to punch it with both hands. But I have to say, when it drops to Yilmaz, he's not renowned for his shooting from outside the box, although he has been known to score the odd spectacular one, but it just bounces too high for him.
Down the other end, Robin Proper with a somewhat uncertain touch inside his own penalty area, but he gets away with it. Rangers clear away down the right hand side. Full house at Ibrox. Rangers 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Pedro Porro, good ball into Maddison in the midfield. Raskin tries to get close to him. Maddison gives it out to Timo Werner left hand side. Back into Maddison, who's in the penalty area. Cuts it for Son. No power on the shot. Good build up from Spurs, but Son Heung-min, by his standards, you'd expect a proper shot at the end of that.
Yeah, it's pretty tame in the end, but it's really good play. It's James Maddison making that run as a midfielder, just in the inside right channel, in between centre back and full back. The hallmark of Ange Postecoglou's side, and when he gets there, he cuts it back. I think Son's slightly off balance, but he just can't get the power to trouble Jack Butland and goal.
Archie Gray playing centre half tonight for Spurs, does well, gets the ball ahead of Egerman, and I mentioned that sort of almost casual appeal of him. Too casual. He's won that on the edge of the penalty area. He's dribbled 25 yards with it, and he's given it away. I mean, the first 3 quarters of what he did there was so good, but that's where the decision making could then get rid of it.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot's been made. He is playing centre back. We've seen him in midfield, we've seen him at right back. Shows you his talent.
Diamande's made a search here, bounces near him, chance for Rangers. Porro whips it away from his toe. Never really fell for the Ivorian, Mo Diamande. It was a high swirling ball that bounced ahead of him, and then Porro tries to counter-attack down the other end. Yefte puts 2 arms on both of his shoulders to foul him to stop the counter-attack, and the Swiss referee comes over. It's not a yellow card, but I think that firmly counts as a final warning for Yefte. Don't do that again, or you will be in the book. Deliberate foul to stop Tottenham counter-attacking. 0-0.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised that he hasn't been shown the yellow card there, because Johnson just slows down, draws him in, knocks it up the line, and he just pulls him back. You would normally see yellow cards for that, so it's early in the game, and I think it's going to be that type of game where Yefte wants to get forward. He's going to have to defend at 1v1 at times as well, so be interesting to see how that plays out. But we're speaking about Archie Gray, and you're right, it's great composure, but once he travels maybe 10 yards, heat your head up, maybe find a pass, you're never going to run all the way from centre back out the right wing, back area, up to right wing, and all the way to goal. But he is young, and he will learn, especially in an atmosphere like this tonight. He
thought he was Jimmy Greaves in that anecdote I told earlier on about Jimmy Greaves, who scored when these sides met in the old Cup Winners' Cup back in the 1960s. Tottenham won the first leg at the old White Hart Lane. 80,000 people in those days turned up for the second leg here at Ibrox. Rangers unable to turn it around, and that was the year that Spurs won the Cup Winners' Cup, the first English team to win a major European trophy, and that's the last time they met in a significant competitive game, these two. Forster, you could tell the boost when the Spurs former Celtic goalkeeper has the ball. Archie Gray gives it short to Dragoshin, who had started 7 of the 8 games before he came on as a sub against Chelsea at the weekend. Needs most of the moment for Ange Postecoglou, who's missing so many defenders. Romero, Van de Ven, Ben Davis, Jet Spence isn't in the Europa League squad. Reguilon is not featured, but he's not in the Europa League squad, so he couldn't play. The goalkeeper's injured, Vicario. So not an awful lot of options. The Spurs defence these days kind of picks itself. Butland clears for Rangers, straight down the middle again. Archie Gray looked to be holding on to Eggieman. That's what the Rangers fans felt. Referee from Switzerland was close to it. He's happy with that. He says play can continue. Raskin gets it under control again, and this is Diomande once more in the midfield. Rangers, who realise they can't go absolute helter-skelter all night at Tottenham. They're going to have to manage it sometimes, but overall they have been on the front foot in these opening 15 minutes that we've already played here at Ibrox. The slip by Basuma. Raskin's going to lose the ball here. Brennan Johnson just outside the penalty area, stretching again. Maybe a chance for Maddison. Over the top, deflection, corner for Tottenham.
Yeah, and I totally agree that Rangers can't just keep going attack. But I think when you play the ball into midfield once and then you go out the other side, you have to try and advance. They don't. It goes into Raskin, it comes back to him, and he gets caught on the ball, because then Tottenham are allowed to put pressure on. There's a little slip and Brennan Johnson overruns it, but you can't take these risks, you can't take these chances against a team like Spurs.
That's the voice of James McFadden with us here, former Scotland international at Ibrox tonight. 5 Live at BBC Sounds. Rangers 0, Tottenham 0. Corner to be taken by James Maddison on the right hand side. It's been a busy midweek of live football and 5 Live Champions League commentaries over the past couple of evenings. Europa League tonight. Here comes the delivery from Maddison, headed by Proper up into the air, falls for Basuma on the edge of the box. He tries to strike it, and it deflects away off the first defender in front of him, and Rangers breathe again, and they might do more than that. They're going to come on the counter-attack here. Yilmaz sends it through ball, but Udogie had the head start on Eggieman, and he's able to shepherd it back to Fraser Forster.
Yeah, I like the idea from Yilmaz, because they're beyond that first press. It's just that Eggieman isn't ready for it. Udogie was, he read it, he was onto it. But I don't mind it, because it shows that, you know, if there's any chance of Spurs getting control of the game and, you know, having Rangers having to defend, it's important that Rangers manage to hit back, and just maybe the timing, the decision making there, just a little bit off.
After tonight, more live football coming up on 5 Live on Saturday. Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton will be at Anfield. We'll bring you Liverpool against Fulham in the Premier League. Kick-off at 3 o'clock, the usual round-the-ground service. And the tea-time game on Saturday is Nottingham Forest against Aston Villa. And we'll have commentary on that one here on 5 Live from the City Ground. Into Sunday, the Manchester Derby's the big attraction. Correspondent John Murray will be with Leon Osmond for that one. Kick-off at 4:30 here on 5 Live. Two teams in out of sorts form, to say the very least, in that Manchester derby. Porro here crosses for Tottenham. It does reach Timo Werner, but out by the corner flag on the left hand side. 0-0, exactly 17 minutes on the big stadium clock. Maddison 10 yards outside the penalty area. Left hand side of Spurs advance, wearing their traditional white shirts, dark shorts, white socks. Werner takes on Tavernier, gets to the byline ahead of him. Cross was disappointingly low though, and it's easily dealt with by John Souttar, and Rangers are able to clear the ball away. Spurs recapture possession, but they're back near the halfway line. Maddison to Porro, number 23 on his back. He's got Bentancur available outside him, but the Spanish international comes infield. Yves Bissouma now out to the right hand side to Rodrigo Bentancur, the former Juventus man. Just gets to the edge of the penalty area, then he's shepherded away from that space as Yefte forces him back towards the centre circle once again. Dragoshin, hair tied tightly up at the top of his scalp, plays a little 1-2 with Archie Gray. It's good pressuring from Rangers. They're making it difficult for Tottenham to come out from the back. We know how Postecoglou likes to get into the opponent's final third as quickly as possible. Son tried to play a ball in front of Udogie. Good interception by Tavernier. And here come Rangers on the counter-attack again. Cherney, lovely step to come infield. He's only got one ahead of him. Ekemane. Cherney waits for more to come. And then, sort of mixed mind as he released the pass. Raskin had run inside him. The pass needed much more power than that. Spurs are able to regain.
Yeah, they were. It's a great run from Cherney. Jinkin outside, coming inside. Eggieman had peeled off. I wonder if he could play that a little bit early, but I don't mind the run from Yilmaz. He makes that run back across him. Cherney's trying to play the reverse pass, but sometimes you need to use that run is almost like a decoy and play it into the feet of Egeman. You can see him, it's an easier pass. He's 1v1, potentially advancing into the box, but really good feet initially from Czerny.
At the moment, Rangers are in 8th place in the Europa League table. Tottenham are in 9th. Both hoping to go through into the knockout stages without any playoff drama. In the Women's Champions League, Manchester City are already qualified, but they want to secure top spot in their group. They're taking on St. Pölten this evening, and Sarah Mulcairns is there for us. Sarah.
Goalless so far, Conor. St. Pölten, though they're struggling to get out of their own half. Keeper Karina Schluter has been struggling all evening to keep on top of this Manchester City attack. They're peppering her goal with shots. Brynhilde Brown had a couple of low effort saves. Park had a bouncing shot from outside the area. Lily Murphy has had a couple of shots in the last couple of minutes. You feel a goal is coming. It is Manchester City 0, St. Pölten 0.
Thanks very much, Sarah. Elsewhere in the Women's Champions League, Barcelona are playing Hammarby this evening. Now, when they met earlier on in this group, Barcelona won by 9 goals to 0. Tonight, 7 minutes in, Barca already 1-0 in front against Hammarby in the Women's Champions League. In the Europa League, here at Ibrox, Rangers 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. On 5 Live at BBC Sounds, Udogie has done well under pressure from Czerny, and then 2 players challenging for a high ball on the far side, and the referee is going to show a yellow card. Now, who has he shown that to? Handball.
Diomande for a handball.
Yeah, deliberate. Oh, that was, yes. Just seen the replay of it now. So Mo Diomande will now miss the Manchester United game. Next game in this group, yellow card for him means he will trigger a suspension and miss the next game. That's the first setback tonight for Rangers. Everything else has gone really well. 0-0. Werner attacking down the left-hand side, sends it across. Son can't get there, and then rather awkward defending, but it works just about in the end as the ball pops into the arms of Jack Butland off a miscued defensive clearance.
Yeah, it's a tough one because Werner goes down the left-hand side with such speed. He's looking for Son, but Brennan Johnson does really well. He gets himself into the back post, and Yefty is so awkward for him. He actually does really well to just keep that out of his own net, and it goes high into the air. Jack Butland comes and collects it. And Diomande one, it's one of them where, of course, it's a deliberate handball, but he's just done it instinctively, you know, when it goes past, and almost trying to pull your hand away and hide it behind your back as if to say, I never done anything, referee, let me off with this one.
So Diomande, the first player in the referee's notebook tonight. A game which is squeezed by. We're almost a quarter way through it now. Free kick to Tottenham on the halfway line. Yves Bissouma prepares to take it. Tottenham, who haven't really troubled Jack Butland yet in terms of a shot to warm his gloves, and that'll be of concern to Ange Postecoglou. We mentioned the build-up. We're chatting with Ellie. Scoring goals actually hasn't been the problem for Tottenham. They've scored more league goals than Liverpool in the Premier League. In fact, only Chelsea have scored more goals in the top flight. That's not been the problem. It's been defending. As Yilmaz tries to come on the counter for Rangers, and Bentancur's got the gloves on tonight, and a cold night in Glasgow makes the tackle, and the ball goes out of play for a throw into the host. 0-0.
Yeah, it's Archie Gray again driving out, and looks at it's in his armoury that to go and drive and drive and play into the game, whether it's midfield or fullback. But he tries to pop it off this time and just gives the ball straight to Yilmaz, allowing Rangers to potentially counter-attack.
Archie Gray, who was the Championship Player of the Year last season for Leeds. Tottenham spent a lot of money to sign him in the summer. They've not used him all that much. He only made his first Premier League start last week against Bournemouth. Here is Czerny on the attack for Rangers. Oh, very unlucky there. Nearly got on the 1-2 with Barami. He gave it to Barami to the byline, tried to pull it back to Czerny again, and he just didn't complete the intricate pass. But Rangers are asking the sterner questions at the moment as Udogie runs down a blind alley here, and he gives away possession, and warm applause from the Ibrox crowd again as their team regains the ball. Here's Yilmaz. He's got support outside from Yefte. Oh, and nutmeg of Porro. Yefte's in, shoots, and Gray gets across to block it out for the corner. Rangers on top. Corner to Clement's team.
Excellent play from Rangers, winning the ball back, the speed to put Yefte in. Nice little nutmeg, and I totally understand why he's gone for the shot, because he's excited, but he's got Bayrami in the middle. He just has to flash that across goal. His teammates in a better position, and Rangers would be ahead. But I would have probably shot as well, so I can't be too critical.
Yefte has yet to score this season. It was worth the go as Tavernier comes across to take the corner. James Tavernier, who captained Rangers to the Europa League final 2.5 years ago. He raises both arms above his head. That's the signal. Here it comes towards the back post. Good delivery. Bentancur jumping edge of the 6-yard box, flicks it backwards, and it's going to skid out. Is it for a throw in on the far side? No, Yilmaz has been able to keep it in play. Down by the corner flag. 23.5 minutes played at Ibrox. Diomande on a yellow card picks a good pass to Proper just outside the penalty area. Groans from the Rangers fans because he went backwards when he had 4 or 5 teammates in more advanced positions of him. That was too cautious. Then a mistake. Yefte's given it away here to Bentancur. 2 errors back to back. Contagious for Rangers. Son sends across into the middle. Brennan Johnson's waiting for it to come, and Yefte, who had a shot down the other end seconds ago, is the defender who gets back, and then 2 arms waved of apology to everyone to say, sorry I messed up there, but didn't I do well to make amends? And then they've given it away again. Porro, just outside the Rangers penalty area, right hand side, tries to put it through the legs of Raskin, and that deflects and takes the sting, and it trickles through to Jack Butland. Rangers 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. James McFadden.
Yeah, I was just about to say, there's no better way to fix a mistake and getting back and being the one that makes the clearance. So fair play to Yefte. But you're right, Rangers were in a great position, edge of the box. Can they play the ball forward? The only thing I would say is you're asking the centre back to maybe be that guy that plays the killer pass.
Well, that's not a bad pass. Egeman into the penalty. Tierney hits it first time on target, and Forster diving to his right hand side gets down and makes the save. It wasn't directly into the corner, but there was a bit of whip on that shot. That's one of the better efforts we've had in the game so far. Rangers 0, Spurs 0. Rangers on top. Diomande midway inside Tottenham Hotspur territory to Raskin. Back to Tavernier. Back into the centre circle to John Souttar, who scoops it high aloft up into the air. Archie Gray, tall young defender, gets the head nod to it, but he can't pick out a teammate, and this is Tierney trying to get it onto that left boot of his with the lime green boots. Good pass. Yefte in the box, fizzes it in across the face of goal, and that is a whisker away. Barami sliding in, cannot believe he didn't score. Any touch at all, and Rangers would have been in front. Great build-up play from the home side there.
Gamble, throw yourself at it. He's hesitant for a split second by Rami. It's great play again from Rangers out to this left hand side. The weight of the pass is perfect, allowing Yefte just to come on. He hits his side foot. Normally they would bend in towards the goalkeeper and back into the middle, but it's a straight pass. Bayrami has to throw himself at it, and Rangers would be ahead.
It's a game at the moment that's bypassing the midfield, one attack to the other. Bentancur on the D of the Rangers penalty area, away to our right hand side as Porro in support. Now Brennan Johnson picks it up. This is right hand side of the penalty area. Spurs come forward, back in field to Bentancur once again. Boos from the Ibrox crowd as Tottenham hold a bit of possession. They've not had much of it in this first half. Bentancur onto Johnson. That's a good ball for Son in the penalty area, but shielded back out of the box again. Johnson to Porro, more central, a good 15 yards outside the box. Terrible pass from Porro. He's given it to Tierney, and now Rangers 3-on-3 if they're quick enough. Yilmaz plays it forward to Egeman. Now he's going to look for Tierney. That pass needed to be much better. Dragushin has noted it down to Diomande, whose shot sails over the top. They keep coming, Rangers, wave after wave of attack at the moment. Rangers 0, Tottenham 0 at 5 Live.
Yeah, they've been the best side. It's clear. I think that Spurs have been wasteful. They haven't been able to cut Rangers open too often. Importantly for Rangers is when Tottenham look like they could be threatening, Rangers have managed to hit them back straight away. Yilmaz has been brilliant in this left hand side as a left winger, considering he's a fullback. He's an attacking fullback, and he hasn't played a whole lot of football, but he is a real threat down this left hand side.
That is 6 attempts at goal that Rangers have had in these opening 26-27 minutes. Souttar clears the ball away. Dragushin wins the header on the halfway line. It's down now for Raskin, and he'll play the ball in front of Yefte, who's been a real willing runner to get up from left back whenever he can and join the attack for Rangers. Support of Yilmaz, these two natural left backs who are operating in tandem with each other to put pressure on Brennan Johnson and Pedro Porro on that side for Spurs. Raskin, Diomande, left hand side of the midfield, leaves it for Yefte. Tottenham can't get a kick at the moment. Yefte glides his way beyond Brennan Johnson, veers in field, and then plays a disappointing pass away from Tavernier, which Tavernier does get to, but it took a little bit of momentum. Good ball from Tavernier, gets it to Tierney, edge of the penalty area. Tavernier again, needs a delicate little dink, looking for Raskin, didn't get height on it, and Porro was able to make the interception with his head. Tottenham regained possession. Still Rangers though asking all the big questions at the moment. That's a good clearance though from Forster. out towards Timo Werner, who doesn't control, and even the basics are proving difficult for Tottenham at the moment. And Ange Postecoglou, who was hoping tonight that on this return to Glasgow, where he had so much success as Rangers manager of the Celtic manager of the past, that he might get a return to winning ways. He's had a difficult start here. His team aren't clicking.
Yeah, he has, and Rangers have looked threatening, although without really being able to trouble Fraser Forster in goals yet. But that's probably sums up Tottenham's performance. You speak about them, they have been poor defensively of late, but they're offering very little going forward. Forster with the side volley into the path perfectly to Werner. It's an easy ball for him to control, and he just lets it roll under his foot.
Raskin has just bossed Yves Bissouma in the midfield, and the Rangers fans love that. A shoulder charge. Raskin, who's not the biggest, but he had a lot of fight in the dog there as he won the challenge. Here's the FD's delivery, just too high for Egeman, and taking no chances. Werner is to put it out for a corner. Corner to Rangers on the right hand side as we approach the half-hour mark at Ibrox.
Yeah, Rangers have been, it seems like waves of attack against Spurs. But again, without being able really to trouble Fraser Forster in goal, that threat's been there. And I suppose, looking at it from a Rangers point of view, the worry would be that you're not getting that goal, you're not finding the breakthrough, because it's a good side they're playing against, and you expect that Spurs will at some point click into gear. I feel that Rangers need to capitalise on this dominance and get themselves in front.
Tierney's going to take the corner. Again, it's the two hands raised towards the front post. Header by Bentancur. Son completes the clearance but doesn't find a teammate. And Rangers are going to hold on to possession here inside their opponent's half. They've got to throw in on the left. Yilmaz leaves it for Yefte. Let's go back to the Women's Champions League. Manchester City against St Bolton. Here's Sarah Mulcurrans.
We've just had a lengthy stoppage at City 0, St Bolton 0. We've had a big injury to their captain, Alex Greenwood. She's been down injured in a tackle when St Bolton were on the break. She signalled instantly to the bench that she needed help and has just been consoled by her teammates and stretchered off. So Alexandri is on, and we wait to hear what that injury might be for Greenwood, because it does look bad at the moment. It's 0-0.
Thanks very much, Sarah. Earlier on, Arsenal were 3-1 winners in Vålerenga in that competition. That was a tea-time kick-off. Hearts beaten in Denmark tonight. Copenhagen 2, Hearts 0. Chelsea had a victory, though. They won 3-1 away at Astana. That game kicked off much earlier this afternoon due to the time difference there in the Europa Conference League. But what a run Chelsea are on. And the way it is with Enzo Maresca, you can just feel a completely different team when he plays these midweek European games. It's going to be intriguing to see if Chelsea can keep up this pressure, and they look the biggest rivals to Liverpool, the top of the Premier League at the moment.
Yeah, and I think when you can totally change your team, and it's still a strong side. Eyebrows are raised at Chelsea's transfer policy. It looks like it's starting to come good for them now.
It's beginning to pay dividends. 0-0 here at Ibrox between Rangers and Tottenham. 5 Live for the BBC. This is Tierney. Timo Werner, he's not had a good first half, trying to put pressure on him, but Tierney's got a chance to shoot from the edge of the area. Was dipping. Foster's a huge goalkeeper, felt he had it covered. Arm was raised, but he didn't have to touch it. He knew it was sailing over the top. But it's another chance for Rangers. 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, and look, I know that the attacking threat that Spurs have, but if any team are going to go in front, it's Rangers, because they have been the dominant side.
Porro gets in ahead of Proper, who was sliding. Last touch comes off Pedro Porro. Just look at some of the communications between the Spurs players, the body language. Porro and Brennan Johnson had a disagreement of words there. They're not happy campers, Tottenham. Why would there be the run of form that they've been on lately? And the stakes are very high for Ange Postecoglou's team. If Rangers were to win tonight, I mean, this would make a bad run a terrible run. It would be 5 games without a win for Spurs. It would be 1 win in their last 8 if they don't get a victory here. Brendan Johnson immediately challenged by Yefte, and Johnson didn't have enough fight in the game there at all. He was easily dispossessed. Yilmaz with the cross, shoots over the whole of the penalty area. Tierney will keep it in play by the byline. Right hand side, Rangers stay on the attack. Back into the mix it comes again. Bentancur, wherewithal to chest it down inside the box. He knew there was no opponent near him. Tottenham are going to try and play their way out of trouble, and they were just in danger of being caught there, and they're relieved to hear the referee's whistle because there's an injury to Sutar, I think it is, inside the centre circle. So play was held up. Tell you, if I was a Rangers player, I'd be disappointed the referee chose that moment to stop the game, because their team was about to pounce.
Yeah, but I think the biggest concern here is it's John Souttar that's down for Rangers. He's been probably the best player this season, most consistent. And just, before the game we were thinking, massive game on Sunday. Are there any players potentially needed rested? I don't think John Souttar would have been one, but he's certainly one that you come into this game worried about. So it's not great at the minute. And to go back to your point, look, Rangers have won the ball back, maybe 30 yards from goal out the right hand side. But I think the biggest concern here is John Souttar and whether he's going to be okay either to carry on, but certainly the bigger picture to be ready for Sunday's massive game.
Just trying to see through the perspex. Is it Balogun who's getting ready? I think it is. Leon Balogun, the Nigerian international defender, has taken off his tracksuit top, so you'd imagine that he's about to be thrust into the game here. John Souttar hobbling off. James mentioned the big game to come on Sunday, the big Old Firm Scottish League Cup final at Hampden, Rangers against Celtic. And then Rangers have one other game between now and Christmas. They host Dundee here, that's in 9 days' time. But this is a problem for Philippe Clement, with John Souttar, who has started every European game for Rangers this season, making way. And on comes the one-time Wigan player, Leon Balogun, who is making just his second appearance in the Europa League this season.
Yeah, with a chance to see it again there. And John Souttar just passes the ball, so I don't know if he's felt something slightly in his groin, his hip flexor. And maybe it is just precaution. But again, Leon Balogun was one, without doubt for me, that was rested tonight to keep him fresh for Sunday's final. So it's not ideal in both counts. And now, if you're Philippe Clement, you'll be watching this game through your fingers with your defensive options at the minute.
Yeah, you certainly wouldn't want to lose any other defenders to injuries ahead of the Celtic game at the weekend. New episode of the EuroLeagues podcast, by the way, coming out this evening, looking back on the Champions League action of the week. Also 72 Plus, which is reaction to Neil Harris leaving Millwall. You'll find that on BBC Sounds or wherever you get your podcast. Here comes Udogie on the attack down the left hand side for Spurs. Good challenge, Diamande. Ball goes out of play for a throw into Tottenham down the left, and we've got 10 minutes to go to half time.
Yeah, it's great defending from Diamande. Matches a run from Udogie and just uses his strength. But we just saw a picture there of Ange Postecoglou. He won't be happy with any part of his team's performance. They've not been good enough on the ball. They've not carried a big enough threat. And I think, one of the big disappointments for him will be that they haven't been able to press Rangers and put them under any pressure at any part of the pitch. He's famed for his teams being high pressing and winning the ball back and going in numbers, and his famous mantra, we never stop. Well, they've not started yet, Spurs, tonight.
Tottenham, who have lost 4 of their last 5 away games. I mean, confidence is such a big thing, momentum in football, and Spurs just look brittle. Even they get that 2-goal lead against Chelsea at the weekend. I don't think any Tottenham fans thought, well, that's it, we're definitely going to win this game. There's always the feeling that this team has got errors in them and that they've goals that they can concede. They've only kept 1 clean sheet in the last 9 games, Spurs. 0-0 tonight here at a very noisy Ibrox. Butland rolls the ball out low.
Connor, the thing about Spurs is I think most people...
Hang on, Butland's clearance was terrible there, gave it straight to Maddison, and then Maddison was fouled and he's hurt. It's going to be a free kick to Spurs, 10 yards outside the penalty area, but of concern is that Maddison is rolling around on the ground and he looks to be hurt.
Yeah, I couldn't see how much contact there was. The referee's in a good position, he's given the foul, but it's a slack pass out from Jack Butland. I think it's Raskin, it just maybe kicks him through the back, catches him.
He's back up on his feet anyway, yeah. Maddison, so he's okay. By the way, the draw for World Cup qualifying takes place tomorrow. All the home nations find out their opponents. Thomas Tuchel's first duty as England head coach, and we'll bring you all the details across BBC Sport tomorrow afternoon. Correspondent John Murray is at the draw. You'll hear him extensively across 5 Live tomorrow. On Monday, England's Lionesses find out their group for Euro 2025 next summer. Right, free kick to Spurs. Too far out, you would imagine, to shoot. Butland's taking no chances, though. He's erected a 3-man wall. Maddison, I don't think he'll be tempted. It's just too far, and he doesn't. He scoops it towards Brendan Johnson, right-hand side. Yilmaz is policing him. What a waste for Spurs. A free kick on the edge of the penalty area, and they've created nothing from it, really.
Well, I can half understand it. You're trying to target Yilmaz, who's not the biggest, but you've got more aggressive, guys that can go and attack the ball. It's just a strange decision, but ultimately they've got a corner out of it.
It has ultimately led to a corner as Rangers cleared the ball away. It was sliced out for a corner kick. They should have just routinely cleared it. Son is going to take this one. Tottenham need to catch a break here. 38 minutes played in Ibrox, 0-0 in the Europa League. Son's delivery, header Bentancur, can't get it on target. Dragosin is going to have to run out of the penalty area to hold on to possession, gives it back to Yves Bissouma. All of his outfield teammates are ahead of him, gives a good pass to Maddison towards Werner pulls it back across the face of goal. How was that not a goal for Brennan Johnson? Jack Butland's made a brilliant save there, 1-on-1, point blank. Rangers breathe a sigh of relief. It wouldn't have counted anyway. The flag rises, but Jack Butland wasn't to know that, and that's a world-class save from him.
That's a tremendous save. Great reaction. Just gets himself across, saves it with the left leg. But the chance before that, which should have been the chance, was when the ball's fired into Werner. It's another poor first touch. He gets lucky, he gets a second bite at it, then he just fires it across. Brennan Johnson makes a run, probably thinking he's going to be in on the first occasion, and he's offside, but Jack Butland's not to know that. It's a tremendous save.
It's an interesting case, isn't it, Timo Werner? I mean, once he was one of the most coveted centre forwards in world football. You know, German international. He's got 57 caps for Germany. Chelsea spent a fortune on him back in the day, but it's an interesting example of a player who's just gone off the boil. You know, Chelsea paid £45 million for him in 2020, which was, you know, back when 45 million was 45 million, you know, not the crazy transfer fees you get these days. Here is Brennan Johnson, more on that in a moment. Down the right hand side for Spurs. Proper's been dragged out of the centre to keep tabs in it. Done a good job because he's shielded that side. He sent Tottenham back towards the centre circle again. Spurs fans who've made the long journey from London will be wondering if their team are going to get a goal in this game. They've not offered much. There was that chance which would have been offside, saved by Butland, but nothing on target. Here is Bentancur, cross on the right hand side, nobody in the middle, nobody again gambling to get in there, and Tavernier takes no chances, puts it out for a corner to Spurs on the left hand side.
And it's the man you've just been speaking about, Timo Werner. You know, I've seen a lot of Ange Postecoglou's side, particularly at Celtic, and how they play. When they get a player advanced to that back line, the ball gets flashed across, the opposite wide man is always there at the back post to put the ball in. Timo Werner's sleeping. Bentancur does brilliantly. It's a great run, great bit of play, and it's exactly where he needs to put it.
Son into the penalty area, no touch off anyone, and it harmlessly goes through and out for a goal kick to Rangers. I mean, Ange Postecoglou will be pulling his hair out at moments like that, because, you know, there's seldom enough opportunities when the tactics are working for Tottenham, creating that sort of delivery. If you're not working hard to get on the end of it, well, what's the point of being out there?
Exactly, and that's switching off, because it's not a light and quick counter-attack. You're asking to make up loads of ground. It's play that we're used to seeing, you know, into the midfield, around the corner, the opposite midfielder making the run beyond, and then it's don't even get your head up, fire it across. You have your striker and your wide man there. That's your two targets. If the striker misses it, the wide man puts it in, but he's nowhere to be seen.
That's lovely. Double nutmeg from Ekeman. Nutmeg on two different players. Can he finish this off? Runs to the edge of the area. It's helped on to Cherney. Was that a fresh air shot by Cherney? Rangers trying to keep this chance alive, but Ekeman, who lit up Ibrox there with not one but two nutmegs within a split second of each other to spark a Rangers attack, and really they should have had a shot on target at the end of all that.
Yeah, they should have. It's tremendous from Ekeman. I love the way that he plays the game. It's just carefree. He's just enjoying himself.
Here comes Cherney again, weaving on his left foot. He likes to come off the right wing and shoot with his left, but no shot at the end of this. Bissouma's intercepted for Spurs. Best you can say for Tottenham here is that the game is still 0-0. Will Rangers rue not scoring in this first half when they've been on top? 3 minutes of normal time remaining until the break. We'll be back with Ellie Oldroyd in the studio at half-time here on 5 Live and at BBC Sounds. This is Raskin, centre circle, to his right-hand side to Leon Balogun, who's come on as a substitute, a forced change for the injured John Souttar. Cherney tries to cross but can't deliver. Rangers hold on to possession. Diomande has it midway inside Spurs half, and now Raskin will deliver to the near touchline here to us. Yefte on the left, the Brazilian, number 22 on his back. Brennan Johnson, who's got number 22 on his back for Spurs, comes close to try and narrow down the options, and he does send Rangers backwards. They're back inside their own half again. Spurs trying to push out, but Rangers coming at them again, and the Tottenham defence don't want to step up too much because Rangers have done well with the through balls. Here's another one. Barami cuts it back from the edge of the area. Groans from the Rangers fans because there was no one there to receive.
Yeah, I think he's looking for Tavernier potentially to be the one that makes that run again.
Now, Timo Werner, who's not had a good... Oh, that's dreadful. I'll be surprised if he doesn't get hooked at half-time, Timo Werner. He's given the ball away time and time again. Poor pass, and Rangers come on the attack once again. Ikeman, edge of the penalty area, left-hand side. That's not a good little ding from him. You can see what he was trying to do. He saw in his peripheral vision Barabi making the burst into the box, but he's played it straight to Fraser Forster. 0-0.
Yeah, I spoke about the way he plays the game, and it's relaxed and carefree, and he looks like he's having fun, and you're absolutely spot on. You can see exactly what he's doing. He catches the runner by Rami just out the corner of his eye. He goes to fake as if he's going to play it backwards. He goes for the little reverse and gets it wrong, but that's where you make those decisions, those mistakes.
Rangers 0, Spurs 0. Rangers, who've had a pattern of winning every second game in this group so far. They beat Malmo, they lost to Lyon, they beat Steaua Bucharest, they drew with Olympiacos, they beat Nice, and now tonight facing Tottenham and hoping to win back-to-back games in the Europa League for the first time this season. Bentancur gives the ball to Pedro Porro on the right-hand side, and that's a good ball. Son into the penalty area. Has to turn with Balogun in with him for company. Dreadful pass by Son, and he was offside anyway. When Son Heung-min received the ball, he was in an offside position. Official just gave it a moment before raising the flag, but nothing is clicking for Tottenham Hotspur tonight.
No, and as soon as the ball's played forward, Son makes a run. I'm looking at Timo Werner. He's basically on the opposite touchline, and just watching to see if Son's going to take a shot or dribble. He needs to get himself into that back post. You spoke about him and the drop off, and the big money move, which it was at the time, the hype. He was so sought after. But his main strengths, he's running, and his running power, his direct running. And if you don't have that, then you're not bringing enough to the team, because anytime it's come into his feet, hasn't been able to control it. His decision making's been poor. It is really that simple. He needs to run more and recognise where the danger is and how he can impact the game.
It is almost half time. Rangers 0, Tottenham 0. Timo Werner is having a shocker. He gives the ball away again. We move into stoppages, 1 minute being added on. Ikeman, he's done well. Onto Diomande, little stumble, recovers his poise. Cherney in the penalty area against Dragoshin. Shot on target, saved by Forster. Saved with his leg, I think. Tottenham breathe again. That was one of the biggest scares of this first half. Scoreless it remains. Cherney again, low right-footed delivery. He's weaker footed, straight to Dragoshin, and Tottenham should clear it away, but we know they love to play it out from the back. This feels high-risk poker, particularly with Timo Werner involved. And has he given it away? No, he's just about smuggled it onto Udogie, and then a challenge comes in from Proper, and Rangers are keeping Spurs penned in.
Yeah, it's great play again. They work it out to Cherney in the right-hand side. He so favours his left foot that half the time you'd expect him to come back on it. He drags it onto his right, fires it across goal. It's a good save from Fraser Forster, and he managed to get out of danger, because Ikeman and actually James Tavernier was about Werner not getting into the back post. Tavernier is in at the back post on the opposite side to try and get a tap into the side.
Well, that is half time. It's a satisfied Ibrox crowd who probably feel their team should be in front here. Rangers haven't won any of their last 6 games against English sides. Their last victory over an English club was the Champions League, the early 90s. Ali McCoy scored in both games as Rangers beat Leeds United home and away. But this, James, has got to be a chance for Rangers to get a long overdue win against an English club, because this English club, who've shown up tonight, Tottenham, are not at the races so far.
They absolutely are not, and Rangers are. It is a great opportunity. It's been a really strong performance from Rangers. Probably the disappointment from their point of view is they haven't been able to get themselves in front, but they've had some good play with the ball, they've had some very good play without the ball, and as you say, Spurs they've been miles off what we're used to seeing. No energy, no composure, no threat, and Rangers have been the better side this first half.
Right, Ange Postecoglou's got a big team talk to come over the next 15 minutes. Tottenham hanging on in there at half-time at Ibrox. It's Rangers 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0.
And James, it is almost astonishing actually that Rangers haven't taken advantage of the open way that Tottenham played. They've had so much space, haven't they? 9 shots Rangers have had, and Barami could have got onto that cross from Jeff on 26 minutes. So You know, are you surprised that they've not actually put it in the back of the net yet?
Yeah, I am. I think that one's, a great point. Bayrami has to gamble. I don't know if, just a couple of minutes before it, Jeffrey get the little nutmeg, and he maybe felt that the ball wasn't coming as quick, but he goes in there and it looks to me as if he actually just either stops or pulls his foot out, just slide in and put it in the back of the net. But Rangers have looked so dangerous. Spurs have looked really passive. It's something we're used to seeing, an energetic Spurs side. When they have the ball, when they don't, they put teams under pressure, and they're so, not gung-ho, but they push bodies forward and play such a high line. They haven't been able to do that tonight, whether that's been the way Rangers have played or whether that's been just the lack of real energy and the lack of edge to Tottenham's play tonight. But Rangers should be in front, and that is the only disappointment for Rangers. The one thing I will say is I expect a reaction from Spurs. They can't come out and play the second half the way they did the first, because the manager will not be happy. He'll be looking at that side saying, I don't recognise that side, that's not the way I want my team to play. So I would expect a reaction from Spurs, but fair play to Rangers, they've been the best side.
Just looking at a lot of Tottenham fans on social media, a lot of unhappy Tottenham fans on social media, which is fairly common, you think, at the moment. But there's one, Adman 1981 says, that's the problem when you play Son up front. He's never in the box. You need Solanke on for Werner. And I mean, Timo Werner does sound like he has really been ineffective so far.
Yeah, he has. I think that he had a shot just inside the box at the angle, and he goes for the far post, but he's had a couple of chances where the ball's come in. Fraser Forster, the lovely side volley out to him, a simple thing to control it, goes under his foot, and a couple of times he's struggled to control it, and that can happen sometimes. You can just be off it, your touch might not be there, and you just try to find a way to get back into the game. What you can't do is switch off when it goes down the right hand side and it's flashed across. I said it during commentary, Ange Postecoglou wants 3 men on the back line to force them back, and when the ball goes wide, whether it's a midfielder making that a 4th man, it is flashed across. Your striker makes a run and your opposite wide man gets in at the back post. It was so effective for Celtic. The wide men were scoring double figures every single season, and they were all the same goal. Out wide, flash across, getting in at the back post and putting it in the back of the net, and that's how you're effective. Timo Werner's been really ineffective, and look, it's tough because I can imagine he's not in the best place in terms of his confidence, but that is a simple thing to make sure you get yourself into the back post. That's not about your touch, it's not about skill, it's just recognising where to be and getting yourself in there, and sometimes that's what you need. It might be a lucky finish, but if you're not in there, you're not going to get any luck.
James, thank you for the moment. Thank you to Connor as well. And be good to be a fly on the wall in that Spurs dressing room at Ibrox at the moment. They're going to have to change things up a lot in the second half. They're going to not leave Glasgow empty-handed, but Rangers, I'm sure, will be feeling happy with that first half and maybe feeling unlucky that they haven't scored. So second half commentary to come. Let's go to the Women's Champions League now. Manchester City are in action at home against St Pölten. It's now half-time, and Sarah Mulkerrins has been watching.
Yes, it's goalless at the break. Ellie City have dominated without finding the breakthrough. 18-year-old academy graduate Lily Murphy, she's been lively in attack down the left. Karina Schluter has been busy in goals. St Pölten have really struggled to get out of their own half. Murphy, Park, Blinkilda, Brown, they've all had efforts saved, and then late on in the first half, City sent a dangerous ball into the area. Fowler was sliding in, but the shot was cleared off the line. It's worrying though for City and Gareth Taylor, because their centre-back and captain Alex Greenwood was injured in a tackle stopping a break from St Pölten. She signalled instantly for help. She was stretchered off. Her teammates were consoling her, so it just didn't look good for the England international. We wait to hear news on that, but it is goalless between Manchester City and St Pölten at the break.
Thank you, Sarah. Earlier, Alessia Russo produced 2 brilliant finishes as Arsenal comfortably beat Vålerenga 3-1 to win their 4th Champions League game in a row. You're listening to 5 Live Sport on a Thursday night with me, Eleanor Oldroyd. Let's get the news now. Here's Laura Harms.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The first set of final compensation payments for victims of the contaminated blood scandal will be made in the coming days. More than 30,000 people contracted hepatitis and HIV from blood products through the NHS in the 1970s and 80s. Almost £12 billion has been set aside by the government to settle the claims. Our health reporter is Jim Reid.
There have been a series of interim payments of up to about £300,000 each for some victims, but this would be the first final compensation payment that goes out to victims. So it is quite an important moment. And we think it's about 10 victims that have been offered around £13 million in total. And then another 25 victims that are being offered some form of extra final compensation, which is going to be discussed kind of going into Christmas.
Specialist teams searching for the former England rugby player Tom Voice say they've found a body. The 43-year-old went missing near a river in Northumberland over the weekend when water levels were high due to Storm Dara. New rules are being drawn up to better protect children who are educated at home. The Prime Minister has spoken of his shock at the murder of Sarah Sharif and says the case has shown there are questions that need to be answered. The 10-year-old was removed from school by her father and stepmother before they killed her. The number of flu patients in hospital in England is more than 4 times greater than it was at this point last year, with experts warning this winter could be one of the worst the NHS has ever faced. Health leaders are urging people eligible for the flu jab to get vaccinated as soon as possible. Dr Amir Hassan is from Epsom and St Helier hospitals.
Most of the patients that have come in here have come in with respiratory problems. I cannot stress how much and how important it is for patients to have their COVID jabs and their flu jabs this year.
And a British hedge fund trader has been jailed for 12 years in Denmark for tax fraud to the value of more than £1 billion. Sanjay Shah denied wrongdoing and his lawyer says he'll appeal.
Hello, it's Tony Livesey. I am back all night. Steve, I know you've got a date with the TV, so I'll let you go.
Thank you very much.
What are you on, just out of interest?
On BBC.
Oh,
on
blimey.
BBC. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I won't advise my listeners to go and watch it, but there you go.
Like many people who are interested in space and astronomy, I am one of nature's nocturnal creatures. We can only see to the edge of the observable universe. There might be more universe beyond that, but we have no way of seeing it.
Tony Livesey.
Tonight from 10. Listen on your smart speaker. Just say...
Play BBC Radio 5 Live. This is 5 Live Sports.
With Eleanor Oldroyd.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Yes, welcome back. Coming up, second half commentary in the Europa League of Rangers against Tottenham. We'll be back at Ibrox with James McFadden and Conor McNamara shortly. Currently goalless at half-time. Earlier, Manchester United came back from 1-0 down to win 2-1 away to Victoria Pilsen. And earlier in the Conference League, Chelsea qualified directly for the last 16 without the need for a playoff after beating Astana 3-1. Elsewhere, Hearts lost 2-0 away to Copenhagen and Larne were defeated by 2-0 against Dinamo Minsk. And latest score in the conference, at 8 o'clock kickoff. And it is at TNS 0, Panathinaikos 1 at half time. Now, the latest EuroLeagues podcast is available right now on the Football Daily feed on BBC Sounds. On this week's episode, Spanish football journalist Guillem Balaguer spoke about Manchester City's poor form after they lost again last night against Juventus.
Do you know those wooden blocks, towers that you can do? You put them together and then you create something and then you take one of them at the bottom. Yeah. Jenga. We've all played it. You take the wrong one and the whole thing collapses. And Rodri is that one. In the past, the reference player in football used to be the number 9. He was always there, always doing his role, balls to him, and then goals will come in, fight with the centre-backs. That was the reference of the team. The reference has been moved to the holding midfield position. And without Rodri, I think the whole thing collapses because in the last couple of years, and that will be another percentage of reasons why it's not working, perhaps in the last couple of years, the club have relaxed and some of the signings or renewals have been a little bit strange and uncharacteristic of the ruthlessness that they had before. Kyle Walker being renewed, you can put a question mark to it. Gundogan coming back, does that really make sense? But when you have a belly full or when you're winning a lot, it's harder to keep winning. And perhaps they find in themselves in the same situation as Pep Guardiola was in his first year at Manchester City. Right, that we know what's wrong. It cannot be applied today. Let's hope that in January, when it all comes back, we can get this season a little bit better. But I've got the impression that they're going to do big decisions that have got, big names involved like Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne and others for next season to start over in a way. They need younger, hungry guys that can adapt to the Pep Guardiola demanding world.
And for all the reaction to this week's European results, you can listen to the full EuroLeagues podcast on the Football Daily feed on BBC Sounds. Also available on BBC Sounds is the latest 72 Plus podcast. This week, Aaron Paul, Joby McAnuff and Middlesbrough defender Tommy Smith all react to the news of Millwall manager Neil Harris's departure, and they were joined by Millwall fan and podcaster Nick Hart.
Neil came back last season and pretty much single-handedly with his players, but single-handedly in managerial terms, saved us from dropping into League One, which was a massive achievement. I'd put it up there with any of his achievements in the game, really, because we were looking so doomed. But then the summertime, there was a bit of a clear out of administration at the Den. I don't know that the new direction that the management that Jimmy has set for the club really sits well with Neil Harris, because the intention is now that we're going to be a finder and developer of talent, like Romain Esse, great example, that we then sell on. I don't know that fits very easily in with a manager's desire to win football matches and climb the table, because at some point you're going to lose your prize assets, and that doesn't sit very easily with him. There's been a few moments across this season. There's been some oddities at the start of the campaign. He was naming only 8 or 9 substitutes when we're, not the full complement. I think there's a point to be made to the director of football at the club that, he didn't have the resources available. And then, as you said, some comments on Saturday that were really pointed and strange. It's an unfortunate way for it to finish. Neil Harris is a figure like no one else, in my opinion, in Mill history, as a player and as a manager. Some of the best nights I've experienced as a Millwall fan is certainly in the last decade have been under Neil's management. So it's a huge loss. I hope those that run the club know what a huge loss this is, because as a fan, you can talk about managerial decisions, you can talk about team selections and young players, old players. But he's a massive figure, and we're losing a lot with Neil Harris's departure.
Well, that is 72 Plus, which is available on the Football Daily podcast feed on BBC Sounds. And it's also worth checking out a special Football Daily podcast which went out yesterday, looking at the decision to award Saudi Arabia the World Cup in 2034. In other sports headlines, in Rugby Union England, fly half Marcus Smith has signed a new contract to stay at Harlequins until at least 2028. The Newcastle United striker Callum Wilson has announced that he's out injured again, despite only returning to action a few weeks ago. The Wolves chairman Jeff Shee says results need to improve, but the club is united behind under-pressure manager Gary O'Neill. They're 4 points from Premier League safety after Monday's 2-1 defeat at West Ham. And there's been strong criticism from the Professional Cricketers Association to the new salary bands for the 100. The best paid men will get £200,000 next summer. That's a rise of 60%. In the women's competition, top pay is rising 30% to £65,000. The PCA says that's to attract the best overseas players, and the decision shows a lack of respect to the players who've been incredibly supportive in growing the competition. So, second half is just a few minutes away at Ibrox. No goals in the first half between Rangers and Tottenham Hotspur. James McFadden is alongside Conor McNamara this evening. And Conor, just some interesting comments which I wanted to put to you from Steve Thompson, who's on with our colleagues at BBC Scotland this evening on Sports Sound. I mean, he's making the point that what you don't get in Scottish football is time on the ball. You get very limited time on the ball, and Spurs are used to getting more time to think than they're getting tonight. And I wonder whether you think that's what you're seeing as well, or whether that's a fair point from Stephen.
I mean, it is, but I don't think you get a huge amount of time in the Premier League either, though. Tottenham, to be fair, do play in an elite league. I think that would be doing them somewhat of a disservice, saying that that they're going to struggle to keep up with the intensity from that point of view. I think it's more of an attitude. I think this is a team who are low on confidence. I think they've come here tonight. I don't think any of them are enjoying it. You couldn't look at the body language, James, of any of the Spurs players and say, yeah, he's really up for that. He's having the time of his life. He wants to impress here. They want to get out of here with their tails between their legs and still intact. They've been sent out really early. There's 10 of them on the pitch, which means a change is coming. And in fact, we can now see it. It's Kulusevski. So yet to be confirmed, but I'll be shocked if it's not Timo Werner who makes way. So Ange Postecoglou had to change something at the break here, because Tottenham have been very disappointing.
Yeah, they have been. And to go to the point about not having time, Tottenham want to have time. They've come up, I think, with a poor attitude of they'll just stroll the ball about, knock the ball about. It'll be an easy night's work for them, and they haven't been, at their sharpest. Credit to Rangers because they've capitalised on it, but I would expect much more like the Tottenham we're used to seeing in the second half. Not surprised. The only surprise for me is one change. It could have been anyone because they've been so below par, but I expect a much better Tottenham side. Rangers need to maintain that level and get the initiative and try and get themselves in front.
So confirmation, it is Timo Werner who's made way for Dejan Kulusevski, the Swedish international who scored that early goal against Chelsea not so long ago. He is come on, so we'll see exactly how it's going to work out tactically. Looks like he's going to play on the right wing where Brennan Johnson was. Johnson will come to the left, and Son Heung-min continues through the centre. Rangers unchanged in the first half. We'll give you a rundown of their lineup in just a moment. Dragoshin here has possession for Spurs, who are playing from right to left as we look down. 0-0, early stages of the second half. 5 Live BBC Sounds and BBC Radio London tonight. Listeners who are tuned our way as part of a simulcast this evening. Rangers team, Butland in goal. He's just slid down onto the surface to collect it ahead of Son Heung-min there. Back for James Tavernier, Leon Balogun now, who has come on for the injured John Sutar in the first half. Robin Proper and Ridvan Yilmaz in midfield. Nicholas Raskin, Nedim Berami. Then it's a 3 of Vaclav Cherny on the right, Diomande, who got a yellow card in the first half in the number 10 role, Yefte, the Brazilian, on the left, and Hamza Igaman, who is the Moroccan, who's had a few bright spark moments in this game so far. But Rangers need the key moment. They need to build on this momentum and try and take the lead. Scoreless for now in the Europa League. Free kick to Rangers, foul given away by Pedro Porro into the back of Ridvan Yilmaz. James McFadden.
Yeah, and look, Rangers are probably aware that there's going to be some sort of reaction from Spurs, but we go here.
Here's an opportunity. Igaman! Left foot! Hamza Igaman judges his run into the penalty area to perfection, and he strikes it low beyond the former Celtic goalkeeper Fraser Forster, and Ange Postecoglou's bad week has just got dramatically worse. Rangers deserve this. Rangers 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Hamza Igaman.
And it's a brilliant goal. The question at half-time was, will Rangers rue the missed chances that they've had, and will there be a reaction from Spurs? Rangers have started in the same vein. It's James Tavernier, the captain, stepping forward, and it's a delightful little ball over the top, just bent round that back four. Hamza Igaman has made the run off the back of Pedro Porro, and it's a cool finish with the left foot. Nice and calm, he just steps on it, bounces in front, side footer beyond Fraser Forster, has got absolutely no chance. It's a dream start to the second half for Rangers.
What a start. I mean, Tottenham, who'll have had their team talk, they did their huddle down on the pitch. Come on, let's start this second half well. Talk about deflating the tyres, and talk about inflating the hopes and dreams now of Rangers tonight. Ibrox is buzzing, and this Rangers team know they're on top. They know that this isn't a fluke, they're in front. They deserve it against a Tottenham team who've been lackadaisical, who need to get their act together here. Free kick to Rangers. Gray put under pressure again.
Yeah, they do it, and if Tottenham felt as though they could just turn up and play whenever they felt like it, then they were in for a shock after the first half. But now they're going to have to show something that they haven't shown all evening. They have to show speed to the play, a bit of decisiveness in the passing, and they have to try and put pressure on Rangers, because just listen to the noise ringing round Ibrox, and these Rangers players will get a massive lift from getting the reward.
Tavernier, low ball into the penalty area from the right hand side, repelled towards Diomande, and Madison tries to clear it away for Spurs, but they can't get a kick at the moment. When that goal went in, we could feel the reverberations coming up through the ground, through our seats, right rattling into our bones as Ibrox just erupted to celebrate a goal that they were worried wasn't going to come, because succession of chances in the first half. Rangers didn't score, but this place is bouncing now.
Yeah, it is, and no wonder. I think that every single Rangers fan would have been delighted with the performance levels in the first half, but the fact they've managed to go and capitalise, score from the first chance in the second half, you can see the lift it's given the players. There's been no reaction so far, and I know it's early from Tottenham.
Rangers, who haven't beaten an English club in Europe since the early 90s. Czerny on the right hand side. Rangers lead 1-0. He shoots from miles out. I'll tell you what, it was on target, and Forster would have been mortified if he didn't save it, but still he's the goalkeeper being kept busy away to our right hand side.
Yeah, it comes to Czerny. Great play again from James Tavernier. He goes and runs down the outside of Czerny, he fakes to play him in, steps inside, and normally we see the wide man go for the far corner. He tries to catch Forster out and drives it low to the near post. It bounces just in front. Not a comfortable one for him, but I think that shows you the confidence that the Rangers players have at the minute.
Now that goal in this live Europa League table puts Rangers 5th and drops Tottenham down to 12th. So Ange Postecoglou's team in danger of not getting into the automatic spots to get into the knockout stages. More misery for the Australian. Czerny into the box, cross from Bayrami, and it's cleared away by Porro on the edge of the 6-yard box. This increasingly under pressure, beleaguered Tottenham defence. Tavernier crosses from the right hand side. He's put too much on that, sails over everyone and goes out for a goal kick to Tottenham, who trail here by a goal to nil. Tottenham with Forster in goal. Back for Pedro Porro, Archie Gray, Radu Dragoshin and Destiny Udogie. In midfield, Rodrigo Bentancur, Yves Bissouma, James Maddison, and a front three now of Kulusevski, Son and Brennan Johnson. I mean, they're all international players apart from Archie Gray. This is a Tottenham team who should be able to do better than this, albeit away from home at a pulsating Ibrox. But Tottenham are not performing to the sum of their parts here, as Maddison on the halfway line is pointing fingers, he's shrugging, he's not happy, but it's just not working for Tottenham, and they're still inside their own half here as Gray eventually comes over the halfway line on the right hand side, gives the ball to Pedro Porro. Kulusevski's made a darting run towards the byline right hand side. Robin Proper comes across, wins the ball off him, all too easy as Rangers recapture it again, and Tottenham don't get a shot in, and Rangers play their way through the press. This is Yilmaz accelerating away from Bentancur. Bentancur trying to bite back. Yilmaz keeps it moving and picks out Czerny just outside the penalty area. Second goal for Rangers can settle this. Czerny runs through, tries to get the shot away. He beat two defenders, he couldn't beat the third, and Dragoshin should be able to clear here, but you can't take anything for granted for Tottenham, and you can't take that because he's messed it up. He's given the ball away to Diomande. Rangers back inside the penalty area, and then they can't get the shot away, and Udogie rolls it back to Forster, and suddenly they're going to have to clear the ball. Eventually Forster sees some sense and just wallops it up towards the halfway line. But Rangers are winning every 50-50 ball at the moment. Rangers won, Tottenham 0 on 5 Live.
Yeah, they are. They're winning every 50-50. They're playing the crisper passing, the movement's better, they're carrying more of a threat.
Here come Rangers down the left hand side. Yefte, low cross comes in. Dragoshin at the front post makes the interception, and Bentancur plays it out low towards Porro, still just outside his own penalty area. Much has been made, James, about the stubbornness of Ange Postecoglou to stick to his system. It's a red flag. It is a non-negotiable with him. At what point does that red flag get taken down off the mast?
Well, look, from his time up in Scotland, I can tell you absolutely categorically he won't change. He won't change. It's the way that he is. It's the way he sees football. But what I will say is, this has not been a case of Tottenham, bombing forward and overexposing themselves. They just haven't really shown enough appetite for the game so far.
Here they come with Bentancur. Tottenham seeking a way back into the match. Kulusevski, low ball in, shot from Brennan Johnson, too high and off target, and they just can't catch a break here at all. That Tottenham, Brennan Johnson, who's been in the goals this season, he's into double figures for the campaign. Tottenham's top scorer in all competitions, but he couldn't hit the target there.
No, but it's much better from Spurs. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to be much better, but they're showing that threat going down the right hand side, and as I said, when it comes from one wide man, they know exactly where to be. Brennan Johnson, if anything, it's just a little bit behind him. He's having to generate the power himself. He's trying to be really precise and go for that top corner. It was never troubling Jack Butland. but at least it's a sign that Tottenham are going to go and threaten Rangers and try and, get themselves back in this game. But at the minute, Rangers look like the stronger side all over the pitch.
Lazio have taken the lead against Ajax. They were in front, Ajax back on level terms. Now it's Ajax 1, Lazio 2. Significance of that is it puts the Italian club to the top of the live UEFA Europa League table as things stand. Rangers in 5th for the moment, and Tottenham sliding away down in 12th place. Manchester United, who won earlier on today, are up into 8th position. Remember, top 8 is the key. Those top 8 teams go through automatically to the knockout stages. Archie Gray inside the centre circle for Spurs. Tottenham wearing their white shirts, playing from right to left as we look down. 5 live at BBC Sounds. We're also live on BBC Radio London tonight. It's become high jeopardy for Tottenham Hotspur. The run of form they've been on, the disappointment, the miscues, the miscommunications, and they've come here tonight short of any sort of confidence, and it really shows. Dragoshin into Madison, they're giving it away again. Raskin's having a good game. He helps it on to Igamade. He's the goal scorer tonight. Now to Czerny, just outside the tee. Plenty defenders in his way. Back to Igamade again. Can he get a shot in? Right footed this time, blocked away by Porro, and it spins out by the corner flag, and Igamade's just going to keep it in play here. We'll go for an update to the Women's Champions League in just a moment. Let's see what Rangers can do on the attack, on the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. Bentancur tries hard to win it back, but Raskin stands his ground, and Rangers do hold on to possession, and they're back to the halfway line once again. Let's get an update from Manchester City against St Pölten. Here is Sarah Mulcairns.
And City finally have the breakthrough. They lead 1-0 against the Austrian champions. Figino with great work down the right hand side, and then Lily Murphy, the 18-year-old, on her first team debut tonight. She tapped it in from the left. It's Manchester City 1, St Pölten 0.
Manchester City already through, hoping to top the group. Here is Czerny for Rangers, sends in a low cross, comes off Brennan Johnson, and Rangers with a guttural roar celebrate the winning of a corner kick on the right hand side. They are keeping this pressure, keeping the lid on the bubbling pot, and Tottenham at the moment are finding it too hot in the kitchen.
Yeah, it is, everything you expect to see from Spurs. You've seen it from Rangers. Confidence, players, look like they're enjoying themselves. They're playing with freedom, and they're causing Spurs so many problems. Spurs, on the other hand, zero confidence, don't have any creativity, no energy in their team at the minute.
Czerny rolls the corner short to Tavernier. Back to Czerny, edge of the penalty area, rehearse move, low ball in front of the goalkeeper, and he's done well. Forster diving down low at the feet of, was it Raskin who slid in ahead of him? And boos for the former Celtic man back here at Ibrox. He'd have known that was coming. Tottenham are shot here. They can't get it out. Brennan Johnson's given it away cheaply again. Cross from the right hand side, sails over everyone, and is kept in play by Yefte. That's a better delivery in. Czerny jumps, can't shoot. Diamande, low, deflects out for a corner. Rangers are banging on the door for a second goal. 57 minutes played. Rangers 1, Tottenham 0.
I think that's a save from Dragoshin. That is troubling Fraser Forster, because Diamande, when it comes to him, he catches it in the volley, hits it down into the ground, and the spin is taking it away from Forster but towards that far post side netting. I think that Dragoshin stopped a goal there, and that just shows you where Rangers are at the minute.
Philippe Clement's been drumming up the crowd. He's waving his arms, playing cheerleader down there. There was always going to be a hectic atmosphere in Ibrox tonight. Of course there was. Big European night. The return of Ange Postecoglou to these parts, the old Celtic manager. We knew it was going to be deafening, but Rangers have been able to harness that energy. They're putting in a performance to be proud of. They want the second goal, though, to secure a win here. The corner's played in, under pressure. Archie Gray has to head it out, and it's another corner in quick succession for Rangers.
Yeah, I think Robin Propper's looking at the referee here. Archie Gray had a handful of his jersey, but I think both of them are grappling for it. But again, Spurs, we know they're not great defensively from these set plays.
They do have video assistant referee for any tomfoolery in the penalty area, these set pieces. Here comes the latest Rangers corner, played in towards the front post. Bentancur wins the header, tries to head it out towards Kulusevski. Tottenham again cannot clear their lines. There's a hunger about Rangers as they get it back again. Low cross comes in too close to the goalkeeper, and Fraser Forster, all in yellow, is able to gather. Rangers 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. The goal from the Moroccan Hamza Igiman, who is Rangers' joint third top goal scorer coming into tonight, so he's now up to third all on his own. Butland has come right out to the edge of his penalty area there to grab the ball, and he gets there just in the nick of time ahead of Kulusevski.
That's an incredible save, because it looks like Jeffrey, who's matched Kulusevski, is going to allow that to run through to Butland, and that's exactly what Jack Butland thinks, and he goes to head it back to him, but Butland's almost outside his box. Great reaction to get down to his right hand side. It's a tremendous save.
Tottenham looking for a reaction here. So far they can't find it. Oh, good work from Udogie. Cherney tried a backheel. Udogie anticipated it and was able to intercept, and now Son encourages the Italian international to continue this run, and he's up in a crossing position on the left hand side. Raskin crunches in and puts the ball out for a corner to Tottenham Hotspur on the left hand side. It's been a good game, this. There's been no lull. It's never got stagnant in the midfield. It's been end to end right from kick-off.
Yeah, and I think that's going to continue. If anything, it's going to get faster, it's going to get more frantic, because Spurs, they'll have to find their energy from somewhere. They have to try and get back into this game, and if they do and overexpose, then Rangers are looking dangerous on a counter-attack as well.
Ange Postecoglou's going to make a triple change here, so he's got 3 players all coming on in quick succession. Pape Sarr is going to come on, Berrival, the young Swede, and Dominic Solanke. So these are all regular players who are coming on. Brennan Johnson goes off, body language not great, he just walked straight past Ange Postecoglou without flinching there. Bentancur makes way, the player who's not been able to play in the Premier League lately because of the domestic ban. He does get a high five from Ange Postecoglou, and then Yves Bissouma is the other who departs to allow Sarr to come on. So Solanke is on to lead the Tottenham attack. Tottenham, who need a goal here, trailing as they do by a goal to nil at Ibrox in the Europa League. So Tottenham corner. Maddison, who's now got some fresh faces to aim for. Berrival, the Swede, came on. He's an exciting player, but he's very raw talent. Corner's played in, punch away. Berrival hits it just wide. It bounced in front of him. He tried to send it back with his very first touch, and he wasn't a million miles away. Better from Spurs.
Almost right on cue as well. Jack Butland does really well because he's under a little bit of pressure from Solanke. He's at full stretch, claws it all the way to the edge of the box. And Berrival, I think he's just a slightly off balance. He's leaning to his left hand side. He's really extended his right foot, and it just comes just outside him a little bit too much. He gets a decent enough contact down into the ground, but it's always going wide.
So Tottenham now lining up with Berrival and Sarr and Maddison as the 3 in the midfield, Kulusevski, Son and Solanke as the 3 in attack. Rangers who hold the lead. Egeman's goal early in the first half, just over a minute after the restart of play, the beginning of the second period, and Rangers got the goal that, to be fair, their play overall has deserved. But can they get another to provide some insulation? Because we know over there, it doesn't matter how bad you're playing, 1-0 is always a dangerous thing. Tottenham can definitely come back from 1-0, even as badly as they've been playing tonight.
Yeah, look, it's that one you said at the weekend, when Tottenham are 2-0 up, they can easily lose it. If they're 2-0 down, they can easily win it. And I think that if they can get, they've made changes here that you would expect would inject a bit of energy into the team, and if they can find that, then of course they can get back into it.
Drones around Ibrox as Rangers briefly lost possession, but then they get it back again. Yefte did well. Udogie is going to sprint over to the left hand side to claim possession here for Spurs, into the blonde-haired Berrival, back to Dragushin. Still a long way to go in this game. By the time the extras are added on, we've got well over half an hour still to play. There's good work again from Rangers in the midfield. They continue to win those 50-50 battles. Egeman is relieved of possession by Berrival on the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. Tottenham fighting hard to break into their opponent's half, and they'll do so here with Porro. Ball over the top. Tavernier's got to get back. Under pressure from Son Heung-min. Son is going to get the ball here. Out by the chalk of the touchline. Left hand side. Tries the nutmeg of Tavernier, who recovers really well. James Tavernier, who's brother of Marcus Tavernier, who plays in the Premier League with Bournemouth. And he's won possession. Oh, they're too casual, Rangers. They should have just cleared it away. They've lost in the penalty area, but Son unable to find Kulusevski. And then the referee blows the whistle for a foul on Maddison, which is just outside the penalty area. Free kick to Spurs in a shooting position. This is the first time tonight that Tottenham have had a free kick that they can have a go from.
And it's the first time they've put any sort of pressure on Rangers as well. It's excellent defending from James Tavernier, something that he's criticised a lot for, but 1v1 against Son, he does really well to win it back, then shows the composure, and then they try and overplay it. But it's the first time that Spurs have actually had players forward to make the most of it. Maddison winning it back, getting the free kick, and we know that he's more than capable from this distance.
James Maddison, who as a youngster came to Scotland on loan, he played for Aberdeen. During that spell he scored a free kick against Rangers. Can he turn back the clock here? Can he produce that magic again? Rangers have brought everyone into the penalty area to defend it. There is a 4-man wall erected. There's no draft excluder. Tottenham have packed the box with plenty of white shirts too, hoping any little ricochet might fall their way. Here he comes, James Maddison rolls into Kulusevski, shoots and places it over the top. It's a rehearse move that didn't work. Maddison shouts something at Kulusevski. Whatever he thought was going to happen there didn't, and another waste for Spurs.
Yeah, I wonder if he wanted it set back to him. When it comes to Kulusevski, he stops it, puts the studs on top of the ball and stops it. I wonder if he just wanted that to come back to him ever so slightly, because then, you know, he can hit it quicker and maybe catch Jack Butland out. And you mentioned his free kick for Aberdeen. It was slightly more central. It was probably another 10 yards further out. It was a sensational free kick. And I'm just thinking, it's the exact same thing as you mentioned, that when he lined up to take the free kick, he's done it before. Can he do it again?
James Maddison, whose most recent goals came when he got 2 against Manchester City 3 league games ago. That was on his birthday. You know, it just shows this is a Tottenham team that beat Man City 4-0 3 league games ago, and here we are saying they're a shambles tonight. I mean, how the pendulum swings in modern football is remarkable.
Absolutely, and I know they lost the game.
Oh, hang on, mistake at the back by Sarr, but Dragoshin was in to sort of make amends, but not really, because it's been given away again, and now Dragoshin's got Czerny to deal with in the penalty. That looked like a push. Czerny goes down. Officials don't flinch. They don't feel there was enough there, and Tottenham played out for the back. Sorry, James.
Yeah, too weak there for me. Czerny are strong, whatever way you want to look at it, from Dragoshin. But I'm saying at the weekend, although they lost the game, they scored 2 goals against Chelsea as well, who everybody's talking to be, you know, title contenders. So they just haven't offered enough going forward.
Son to Udogie, edge of the penalty area. Diomande has tracked him. He's got to be careful here on the edge of the box. Udogie flicks it back to Maddison. Now that's good. Bit of invention. We haven't seen enough of that from Tottenham today. Here comes a cross into the middle. Porro's arriving. Angle's tight. Butland saves with his right foot. Best we've seen from Tottenham in a long time. Kulusevski tries to keep the good vibe going. Digs into the penalty area, but Tavernier is there. He nods it onto himself and clears it away down the right-hand side. That was better from Spurs. They were using their heads a little bit there as they get it back again. There is still 25 minutes plus the stoppages to go. Back to Manchester City against St Polten in the Women's Champions League, and Sarah Mulcairns.
City have got their second. They're leading 2-0 against the Austrian champions. Carbon copy of the first goal for Gino with great work down the right, and it was Kirsten Kasperai this time front of goal to tap it in. It's Manchester City 2, St Polten 0.
Earlier on at 5:45, Arsenal won away in Vålerenga in that competition. There were wins in the Europa League earlier on today for Manchester United, who won away in the Czech Republic in that 5 o'clock kickoff against Victoria Plzeň. Chelsea played early in the afternoon in the Conference League. They won 3-1 away at Astana. Hearts were beaten in Copenhagen in that competition. And here in Glasgow, in Ibrox, Rangers 1-0 up against Tottenham Hotspur as Solanke hopes that he's done enough here to win a corner, and he has. Corner to Tottenham down the right-hand side. This ain't over yet.
It's not, and Tottenham have now shown exactly what's been missing. A bit of energy, speed in their pass, the speed in the movement. Still, Jack Butland a save just a couple of minutes ago. A tremendous save from Brennan Johnson down to his right hand side. It wasn't Johnson because he's off the park. Down to his right hand side. Tremendous save.
Here comes the corner. High and swirling from Kulusevski. Missed by Dragoshin. Chance of a Rangers counter-attack if they have the energy here. That's good work from Yilmaz, who's gone through Berryvall. Fair play to Dragoshin. He's going to get a yellow card for this, but he worked really hard to sprint back and to make the challenge on Yilmaz. And that is a foul that gives Rangers a free kick and allows Tottenham to get players back into position. Yellow card for Radu Dragoshin, the Romanian defender. Right, we've seen 4 substitutes already come on for Tottenham. There's going to be a double change here for Rangers. Dion Sterling, former Chelsea player, is going to come on, and Conor Barron, who's done well since joining Rangers from Aberdeen in the summer. Barron, number 8 on his back. He's played in every game in all competitions for Rangers this season. No surprise that he comes on here, and he slots into the midfield. Czerny is one of those who's going off.
Yeah, Czerny's going off.
Barami, the other.
Yeah, sorry, Conor. I thought that potentially Tavernier was going to go and play wide right, but Sterling. So, yeah, it's interesting. I'm more looking at how Rangers go forward from these positions, because a lot of talk about Tavernier or Sterling. They're now in the same side. Be interesting to see how that works.
Right, here is Diomande trying to get it out to Yilmaz, who made a good run on the left hand side. Tottenham get it back. Papsar on the edge of his own penalty area. Pedro Porro, right back position. Tottenham have got to go through such Herculean effort just to get it out of their final third. There's a hunger about the Rangers press that has been there all night, and Tottenham not at their highest confidence levels, and any little misjudgment of a pass and they look to be in trouble. Eventually they do go long here. Sarr's going to try and control, but Proper is with him. Proper should have put the ball out of play, and eventually I think he's fouled there, is he? Or is it going to be a throw? I'm not sure, but it's certainly Rangers possession on the far side. It is a throw-in. Throw-in for Jefte. Clock ticking on at the moment. If you're a Tottenham fan, you'll be looking up with caution to see that the clock's about to hit the 70th minute. And I think that introduction of the triple change has breathed a bit of new life into Spurs. Is it going to be enough, James McFadden?
Well, there's still loads of time, but you're right, it definitely has breathed a bit of life into Tottenham because they're playing with that energy. But I would say that Rangers, it looked like there was a chance because they put so much into it that there could be a bit of tiredness creeping in, but they seem to have got the second wind and trying to get control back in the game.
Don't forget to bring 5 Live with you with BBC Sounds. You can pause and rewind any of our live commentaries, any of our programmes across the network using the BBC Sounds app as Fraser Forster clears the ball away, right-footed up towards the halfway line. Solanke, who's hardly had a touch since coming on, beaten in the air by Leon Balogun. Balogun who to come on as a substitute in the first half for the injured John Souttar. Here is Son Heung-min twisting and turning, trying to shrug off Sterling inside his own half. Tottenham do hold on to the ball, but they're not finding anything easy at the moment. Trakashun gives it to young Archie Gray, 18 years of age. Back again to Trakashun, the 22-year-old, bandage on his left hand. He plays a 1-2 with James Maddison. Tottenham trying to get some fluidity, trying to get some tempo going here. Son helps it on to Udogie. Udogie, who's midway inside Rangers territory. Barron's come across to challenge him, and the ball goes out of play. I thought last touch off the Tottenham man, and the officials agree. Throw into Rangers, who still lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, look, I think there's been definite lift in the energy from Spurs, but it's still lacking that real speed in the attack. They're trying a bit better, but they just can't seem to cut Rangers open.
There's a lot of Tottenham fans who've made the journey up from London. They're taking over 2 sections of the stand tonight. There'll be many Tottenham fans listening to our commentary here on BBC Radio London, and they're wondering if Ange Postecoglou's just lost his sparkle here. Is he able to produce the moment that Tottenham desperately need here to get back in the game? A direct ball is too direct from right back from Burrow, and it sails all the way through to Jack Butland, the Rangers goalkeeper again. And those final passes have not had the high quality that Tottenham would expect. Here come Rangers over the halfway line. Jefte's left it behind it. Kulusevski, though, is beaten to it in a slide by Raskin. Falls for Kulusevski again, but this time he's tackled by Proper. And they're digging each other out here, Rangers. If one of them misses, there's someone else to slot in and take his place. This is a good place to be in ahead of a cup final on Sunday. Celtic will be looking on from afar. They're probably hoping that Rangers will wear themselves out in this next half an hour or so that we're going to have at Ibrox, because they're having to put in a lot of effort at the moment, but they're putting in that effort. They're doing well. Berryval's been hit by Raskin's been hit by Berryval, and it's a yellow card for the Swede, and he claims his innocence, but the referee wasted no time in burnishing that yellow card, which did seem to be a real physical one, a kick to the shin of Nicholas Raskin.
I don't agree with it, if I'm being honest. Berryval just flicks the ball away beyond Raskin, flicks it wide. Both of them are running at full speed, and look, it's a sore one for Raskin, absolutely no doubt, but they just kind of collide. It's like Raskin gets in the way. Berryval, in the motion of kicking the ball, catches Raskin with his studs, but there's no one else that can put his foot. I don't agree with that one.
Yeah, I've just seen the replay of it, but the yellow card has been given to Berryval. Rangers 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. 48,000 in here. You can probably hear the voice of the background of the stewards going out to bellow that number at us to tell us the official attendance here on the gantry at Ibrox. Gray trying to hold up Iguaman on the edge of the penalty area. Does his job there. Kulusevski won't keep it in play, but it's going to be a Tottenham throw anyway. They're still penned back inside their own half, midway inside their own territory. Throw in for Pedro Porro. More live football to come at the weekend here on 5 Live. Liverpool against Fulham, our choice of the 3 o'clock game. So bring in Nottingham Forest against Villa from the City Ground for the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday. On Sunday, Brighton against Crystal Palace starts at 2 here at 5 Live, and it's all building up to the Manchester derby. First taste of that for Ruben Amorim. 4:30 start. It's the Etihad, Manchester City against Manchester United, a game that you can listen to in full here on 5 Live. Berryval, number 15 on his back, passes it to Fraser Forster, all in yellow. The clock ticks on, and there's just over a quarter of an hour of normal time to play. Sarr for Tottenham has to retreat in order to go forward. It all feels a bit 2 steps back, 1 step forward for Spurs at the moment. They're not getting traction. They're not gaining anything at the moment. Here is Maddison, halfway line, head up, scanning the horizon, looking for options, but forced to pirouette back at himself and come in field, back into the centre circle. Sarr will try his luck down the right-hand side, gives it to Porro. Rangers just shift across as a unit, and Tottenham again are forced to retreat back into their own half. Gray and Dragoshin, the 2 central defenders again. 1-0 Rangers.
Yeah, I think, most of the Tottenham players are coming to feet, and it's not really the style that I'm used to watching. Certainly Ange Postecoglou, that his side, it's high energy, it's taking risks, and you have to take risks in the right areas, but it's just so you can pin the back line all the way back. But when it comes out, Son will come to feet, he'll drop maybe 10 yards, and then they have to go and recycle. I mean, they're knocking the ball around the back here and not really going anywhere.
Football daily podcast from 5 Live Euroleagues available for you tomorrow, looking back at the Champions League action. Here comes Spurs, down goes Banderson, Kulusevski does it, he's going to score. They might have had a penalty anyway, but Tottenham score. Kulusevski to the back of the net. The referee points towards Maddison. He would have given a spot kick had that not ended up in the net, but Tottenham were delighted to play on. It's been a malfunctioning night for Ange Postecoglou's team, but there's enough quality in the team to get it back to 1-1. Ibrox is stunned. Rangers won, Tottenham won. Maddison is hobbling, but he's back up on his feet.
And it's more like it. I just spoke a second before they actually moved bodies forward. Spurs, that they were just knocking around the back. Maybe they were just trying to look for those little gaps. It's Kulusevski coming off the right hand side. Solanke making that run in behind. I couldn't believe he didn't shoot. It was a great angle for him to shoot, but he obviously knows better than me, because he picks out Maddison, who does really well to get his body in across. Probably would have been a penalty kick, and Kulusevski just follows it on. He's the one that played the pass to Solanke, and it's a cool finish, just back across, Jack Butland down to his left hand side. It's a composed finish. I expect to see far more energy from Tottenham now.
So Dejan Kulusevski, Tottenham substitute, who scored 1 Champions League goal in his time at Juventus. That's his first ever Europa League goal. What an important one for Ange Postecoglou. The extra significance of this game, back at his old, hunting, stomping ground in Glasgow, back at the home of his old rivals Rangers, to be 1-0 down, to have fought back on a night when his team has not been playing well, to get this to 1-1, and maybe still for Tottenham the chance to go and win it. How are Rangers going to react to this? The big physical effort they've put in already, knowing in the back of their minds they've Celtic in the League Cup final to come on Sunday. Can Rangers mentally get themselves in a place to give this everything now for the closing quarter of an hour? I mean, with stoppages there could be 20 minutes still to play, and for all the misfiring from Tottenham this season, Kulusevski's probably been one of their better players. No huge surprise that he's the one who's popped up with a big moment for Postecoglou tonight.
Yeah, he's come on with a bit of purpose. I think the substitutes have done that for Tottenham. Too many players almost going through the motions in the first half. In the introduction, the Kulusevski in particular has certainly brought Maddison to life. He's getting more involved in the game.
Here they come again, Spurs. Son just outside the penalty area, left hand side, tackled by Conor Barron. Good work from the youngster. Clears it up towards Ikeman, who is Rangers goal scorer tonight. He's given it away to Son. Son gives it away to Raskin. Rangers still a fight in them, but then Ikeman gives it away to Berryval. There's a whole succession of errors there. High turnover of possession. Tottenham have dragged Rangers down to their level in a sense here. They've turned this into a street fight. Berryval infield again to Sarr. Tottenham who've made wholesale changes, 4 substitutes in the game. Can those fresh legs deliver a strong finish for Ange Postecoglou's team? 1-1 on 5 Live, BBC Sounds and BBC Radio London. Raskin scoops the ball over Pape Sarr. That was classy. Collected the other side. Then he helps it on to Diomande. Back down on the deck for Sterling. He's got a bit of room here on the right hand side. He's also got Ikeman with him in support. Back again to Sterling. Has a look to see who's in there. Floats it in. Yilmaz at the back post. Angle too tight. Heads it up over the crossbar. He's never going to score from that tight angle, and that goes out for a goal kick for Fraser Forster and Tottenham, and we've got 12 minutes of normal time to play.
Yeah, well, it's going to be tough to score from there, but he could head it back. He'd support in the midfield. It looked as if it was that old one where you shut your eyes and you just let it hit you and don't actually do anything. Another issue here for Rangers. Iggyman's down. He's been excellent since being introduced into the side.
The injury count is evident of how Rangers are putting everything into this. They're preparing Robbie Fraser to come on, 18-year-old left back. He has not played European football before. This will be his European debut. So Robbie Fraser comes on. And they're also going to bring on Dessers, who's been in the goals this season. So Rangers, who've been in front for so long at Ibrox tonight, hoping that they might still be able to recapture that lead.
Yeah, and you were speaking earlier about, you know, the big push and trying to get themselves back in with a cup final. The players won't be thinking about that now. They'll just be thinking about trying to, at the very least, keep it at 1-1, and if they get their opportunity to go forward, then go forward and try and get the winner. There've been more than a match for Spurs tonight. You can just feel that Spurs are getting on top. They're getting control of the game, which could stretch it and allow Rangers to catch them on the counter-attack.
Dessers has got 3 goals in his last 3 home games. Scored twice in that 6-0 win over Kilmarnock, the last home match here. He's come on now to lead the line, just to give Tottenham's somewhat makeshift defence something else to think about in the closing stages of this game. If you're joining our coverage at 5 Live, Iggyman gave Rangers the lead just after half-time. Tottenham are attacking here. Kulusevski to the byline, hoping he'll get a corner, and he does. Corner to Spurs. But Iggyman, who put Rangers in front, Kulusevski, has been able to level the match up again, and it's on a knife edge going into these final 10 minutes at Ibrox in the Europa League. And you can say what you like about the new Europa League format or whatever, but producing games like this feels like it wouldn't feel out of place as the Champions League game tonight. It's got that big match atmosphere about it inside Ibrox. 1-1. Tottenham have sent everyone forward apart from Udogie. Here it comes into the penalty area, comes down for Berryville. Referee's whistle is blown. There'd been a foul on Diomande. Free kick to Rangers on the edge of their 6-yard box.
Yeah, and probably a good one for Rangers, because Berryville's got loads of time to take a touch, and he has a little shot and it's tame, but I'd imagine it would be much better had the referee not blown his whistle. And it's, you know, a big 10 minutes or so plus added for Rangers, because they put so much into it and they've played some good football. This has not been a backs to the wall performance at all from Rangers. They've played some really good football, look dangerous, energetic, and they've forced Tottenham into making mistakes that we don't normally see.
Tottenham need to dig into their memory bank here. They've got to produce some of the Premier League quality they brought to Glasgow tonight. Yefte crossing, Dessers was ready to tap it in, and Fraser Forster gathered at the front post ahead of him. It would have been a simple tap off his forehead for a goal with almost his first touch for the Frenchman the Nigerian had that worked out. And another reminder that Rangers aren't just going to sit back now for 1-1. They think they can make this 2-1 again.
Absolutely, and quite rightly so, because they put so much into it.
Kulusevski to Berryville. Berryville is a real trickster. He's got a lovely shift of balance, very elegant, stylish player. Ross, I mentioned, he's only played a handful of games for his club in Sweden before joining Tottenham, but they're hoping to make him into a player. Here he is again, rolling the ball back to Archie Gray, another youngster. 82 minutes on the clock. Gray gives it to the right-hand side to Pedro Porro. Kulusevski's made a run forward in towards Solanke. Solanke was there, gets it back in. Kulusevski. Solanke tries to volley it first time. Good defending Balogun. As he was ready to pull the trigger there, Solanke. Balogun leaned into him, and no clean shot was allowed. Rangers trying to counter-attack. Arm waved of apology from Robbie Fraser in his European debut. His pass needed more on it to reach Cyril Dessers. Tottenham get it back once again, 1-1.
I'll tell you what, it was absolutely sensational between Solanke and Kulusevski. The header cushioned into his path, and then it's James Tavernier at the back post defending magnificently. This thought would always almost be a certain goal, because the link-up play between Kulusevski and Solanke, absolutely tremendous.
Rangers, who led for so long, can they recapture the lead later? Could Tottenham, for the first time this evening, get the lead themselves? Free kick to Spurs, foul by Dessers on Berryville. He takes it quickly. Immediately a foul on Kulusevski, this time by Robin Proper. Free kick 10 yards closer. Still not within range, but this is a more attacking platform now for Tottenham. And Rangers just got to mind their discipline in these closing stages, James.
Yes, they do. Don't get sloppy. Look, easier said than done. They put so much into it.
Tired legs, tired minds. Dragic tries to get a header in, and the referee's got to hold up play. There has been a connection with the head of a defender who's down, and I think some of the Rangers fans behind the goal feel that Balogun has been maybe caught by an arm from Dragoshin there. I'm not sure if it was a clash of heads or an arm, but either way, the primary concern is just for the players' well-being. We're going to get to see a replay of it, and physio has run on to treat Balogun. I think was it the arm? That angle wasn't conclusive. You think it was a head-to-head? Might get a better view.
I think when it comes in, Balogun heads it backwards with the back of his head as Dragoshin's going to try and attack it. He gets there first, and there's a clash of heads. I don't think there's anything in that other than a clash of heads which can happen.
So having already lost one central defender to injury, Rangers hope that Leon Balogun is going to be okay here. He'll have to leave the field in order to come back on again. They've given him the smelling salts, but a splash of water on the face. He runs off the field, keen to get back into the fray as quickly as possible, but important that these protocols are followed with head injuries, and we all know how serious that can be. 84.5 minutes on the clock. It's been a big night at Ibrox. Rangers, who've really entertained their fans, holding the lead for much of this second half. Tottenham, who've been able to battle back, but here comes Dessa for Rangers. Is he in? Oh, great save! What a save, Fraser Forster. Well, there was a defender lunging in as well, but that looked certain to be a goal. Dessers did everything right. How did that not go in, James McFadden?
I've no idea, because it's absolutely tremendous from Dessers. Little flick over the head of Archie Gray. Looks like he's going to pull the trigger. Brings it onto his left. And I think he hits it straight at Foster. As much as the goalie gets the praise for staying big, Dessers has to score.
Gotta score. That goes in, it wins the game. Tottenham are too feeble, too fragile in their confidence. I don't think they could have withstood going 2-1 down. But Fraser Forster, the former Celtic keeper, makes a big block at Ibrox, albeit, as James illustrates, Dessers did put it straight at him when the whole goal was at his mercy. Just needed a cultured, and he had done so well in terms of cultured touches to get into that position. Here comes the corner, played in by Tavernier. Solanke heads it out. Kulusevski's the only Tottenham player who remained forward. He's immediately robbed of possession by Barron. Gives it back out to Tavernier. Dessers now, crossing position on the right hand side. Tottenham, who want to attack, who want to go grab a winner. Remember, they're the one who are languishing down the table. Rangers above them. Here's the cross from the left hand side. Dessers! He's not made the mistake this time, but the flag is raised. Cyril Dessers, brilliant finish, but from an offside position. VAR will just check it, but it would appear this goal is not going to stay. It's miles off.
Yeah, he's not the only one. I mean, it's a nice finish, I have to say. It bounces right in front of him, and it's composure that we just didn't see a minute ago. But he's clearly offside.
Good game this, really has been. Tottenham, we've not been able to reach the heights we know they're capable of. Rangers, who've risen it up again. There was a lot of pessimism about how Rangers would do in this game because of the distraction of the cup final of the weekend, but they've really put in a great showing. Sterling here is fouled. Free kick to Rangers, crossing position. Thought for a moment the referee was reaching for the card again, but it's just his little referee spray. So Rangers are going to get a set piece here. Robin Proper is having deep conversations with James Tavernier, and I'd imagine it's something along the lines of, cross it into my head and I'll put it in the net. As Tavernier comes across. Oh, they've taken it quickly, have they? No, too quickly. Referee hadn't given them permission to do that. Son is being erected as a one-man wall. James McFadden.
Yeah, look, it's a chance for Rangers. We know Tavernier's delivery is excellent. Balogun, real aggressive. I won't be surprised to see him go and attack it and get on the end of it, get something. Can they keep it alive?
Tavernier, that big chat with Proper, who's at the back post from where this is going to come. One-handed signal from Tavernier. Here it plays in towards the front post, needed more height. It's going to fall to Barron on the edge. Didn't fancy a shot with his less favoured left boot, and he'll calmly roll it back behind to Yefte instead. He'll pump it back into the penalty area. Son under pressure, heads it out of the box, but he's going to lose the ball here. Rangers have it back again. Tavernier, Diomande, can they dig deep and find the energy here to create a climactic finish at Ibrox, which would take the roof off the stand if they did, by the way. Here's Yefte, 20 yards outside the box. To the left-hand side to Barron. Loads of blue shirts have stayed up for the free kick. I mean, if Tottenham could counter here, Rangers are thin at the back, and there's a chance they might be able to. Kulusevski on the right-hand side. Yefte, the nearest defender to him. Kulusevski tries to take him on. Good work by Yefte. Wins possession back and rolls it to Butland, the goalkeeper. Rangers really, in terms of keeping their mind on the job at hand, they've been prepared very well for this game tonight. If they can play this well on Sunday, that's going to be a good cup final.
Absolutely. and the confidence they'll have going into it, because they've been outstanding tonight.
Here's Porro, right hand side for Tottenham, can't beat the first defender. And young Robbie Fraser, who's been thrust into the Lions' den here. He's only had 2 substitute appearances this season, both back in August when Rangers were playing their home games at Hampden. Never played in Europe before, and he's been put in because of injuries to defenders tonight. But he's standing firm as part of this Rangers rear guard now as they prepare to defend a Tottenham throw-in on the far side. Tottenham play from right to left as we look down into the final minute of the 90. Berival floats it across the edge of the penalty area. Son takes it down on his left instep. Wonderful technique. Ball on his feet now, dancing in front of Tavernier. Nutmeg into the box. Udogie back to James Maddison. Nice twisted turn. Flicks it to the back post. Solanke header. I thought it might have been going in, but it was a handball, and it's saved by Butland anyway. Tottenham's build-up there had menace about it, but they weren't able to produce the final piece of the puzzle. 1-1 it remains on 5 Live.
Yeah, it was great play from Son. Little nutmeg and Tavernier for Udogie. I thought Maddison was going to pull the trigger, but he clips it back. Little Cruyff turn onto the left foot and clips it to the back post. Solanke looked to me like he tried to throw his hand at it, which obviously wouldn't have counted, but you don't like to see it either.
Rangers haven't lost since that defeat away at Aberdeen in October. Coming into tonight, I think they'd have been delighted with a draw. The manner of the game, having held the lead for so long, they were getting used to the idea of winning this game, Rangers, and piling the misery on Ange Postecoglou. I don't think a draw would relieve much of the pressure that the Spurs manager is under, but it'll certainly be better than a defeat. 3 minutes to be added on here. It's enough time for either of them to go get a winner.
Yes, it is. And Rangers, you know, they still look like they've got that energy, that commitment. I suppose you just feel that they have that quality to fashion one more opportunity.
Free kick is given away by Robbie Fraser, too energetic in his challenge there. Fouled Kulusevski. Sarr takes the free kick to Tottenham, gives it to Porro on the right hand side. Here comes the cross in, too close to the goalkeeper, and Tottenham have not been able to produce the quality when it's needed tonight regularly enough. The Kulusevski goal has been a standout moment in another very tepid performance from Tottenham.
Yeah, it has. The lack of energy, the cutting edge. You expected tonight to be a game where if Tottenham turned up, it would be a very difficult and long night for Rangers, but Rangers have been outstanding.
Tottenham, who started this group by winning their first 3 games in a row. What's Forster done here? He's given the ball away to Dessers inside the penalty area. Wide position though, Dessers couldn't shoot. Back to Fraser, left footed cross in. Sterling at the back post. Barron tries to arrive. I think he's fouled the defender. He's leaning out, he's trying to volley the ball, and he's kicked the defender instead. And that's going to be a free kick to Tottenham. I don't think there's any real malice from Barron there, but it's reckless, and that is a free kick to Tottenham for the foul on James Maddison. I was just saying about the run in the group. 3 wins in a row, Karabakh, Ferencvaros and Alkmaar, but since then they've now dropped points. If this stays a draw, it'll be drop points in 3 games in a row, losing to Galatasaray in Turkey, drawing at home to Roma, and set to settle for a point here in Glasgow at Ibrox against Rangers. Ange Postecoglou still down there pointing, still bellowing on the instructions in that gravelly voice of his. Sarr up to the halfway line, plays a little 1-2 with Pedro Porro. We're entering last gas saloon now. Udogie has a look up, gives it low to the feet of Son Heung-min, whose goal tally has been disappointingly low this campaign compared to what we're used to from the Korean. Gray is urged to come forward now into Rangers territory up from centre half. Plays an accurate ball out to Porro on the right wing, up against young Fraser. Porro plays a 1-2 with Kulusevski, makes it a 3-4. Kulusevski back on his left boot, poor, gives the ball away to Raskin. Now have Rangers got the energy? Dessers is ahead of him. Raskin wants to take it on himself. Short pass to Dessers now. Spurs work hard to get players back behind the ball. No counter-attack for Rangers here, and the time is almost up. This could be the last attack of the game. Rangers have possession. Foul. Free kick on the far side. Now, do they throw everyone up, or do they decide to have a bit of caution here this late in the game?
Just put them up. Go for the winner. They've already gained so much out of this game tonight, their performance levels, raising the confidence among the group around this stadium, and showing, you know, that the manager has been under immense pressure the last number of weeks, and it shows you that this team, the way that he wants, is going in the right direction.
We've played the 3 minutes and the referee blows the whistle before the free kick can be taken, and to be fair, Rangers weren't sending players up anyway. I think they were going to take it short. but that's a strange ending to a pulsating game. Rangers, who played some very good stuff tonight, raising their game against their Premier League opponents. The misery, though, does not dissipate for Ange Postecoglou. A tough few weeks for the Australian, and this result isn't going to soothe too many of the problems. Even tonight, back on Scottish soil, where he made his name in British football, Tottenham's manager still can't get back into the winning groove. His team did come from behind tonight after Igiman had given Rangers the lead early in the second period. Kulusevski produced the equaliser for 1-1, James McFadden.
Yeah, a great game. A great game to watch, and high energy. Rangers, I think most people, although Spurs are not in a great place at the minute, expected Spurs to come here and really do a number on Rangers, but credit to Rangers, they stood up to that. They showed great energy, they showed great discipline in their shape, and they posed a threat. It was a really strong performance. So much talk about the cup final on Sunday. Would Rangers rest players, would take their eye off the ball? Every single player that played tonight for Rangers get pass marks. Some outstanding displays in there. I thought Jeffrey at left back was outstanding. The much criticised at times captain James Tavernier defensively was excellent. Wonderful cross for the Igiman goal. And Igiman, he is a bit of a star. He's got a bit of stardust about him, a bit of carefree. He just tries things, and he's a player that will excite the fans. He's a young player with loads of potential to go and score against Tottenham in the Europa League. Fantastic, great performance. I thought, Raskin in midfield as well, outstanding for me.
Really good performance from him. So Rangers will stride on to Hampden now on Sunday for that League Cup final. They will hope to produce this level of performance once again. For Tottenham, they travel to Southampton on Sunday in the Premier League. They've got some high profile games coming up. Spurs League Cup match against Manchester United next Thursday. Then they've got the visit of Liverpool to North London a week on Sunday. Things might get worse for Spurs before they get better, and Ange Postecoglou's got to try and keep spirits high amongst a team whose body language looked so deflated all night tonight. Kulusevski, the standout performer, he scored the goal that snatches the draw for them, but it's 5 games without a win for Spurs, and it's only 1 win in their last 8 in all competitions. They will travel back down to North London with problems still very much to the forefront of their minds. Really good game though, good entertainment, proper European football night at Ibrox. It finishes Rangers 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1.
And I'm glad we gave it the big build-up beforehand, because that was an absolute sizzler. A couple of weeks before Christmas, Manchester United 7th and Rangers 8th in the automatic qualification positions in the Europa League table. Tottenham down to 9th. But James McFadden, would you say that Spurs got away with it, really?
Yeah, I thought that Spurs, first half were really poor, no energy. It looked like a lot of the players maybe felt either like their low confidence, or they felt they could turn up here and play however they wanted. And Rangers showed that they're no pushovers, took control of the game in the first half, and probably should have been ahead. But they came out in the second half and get themselves in front and give them something, to the reward for the performance levels. I thought that there was a slight, improvement from Spurs when they made the changes, but just in the end didn't do enough, didn't create enough chances, didn't, put on the performance that many people expected coming here. So yeah, I think that, a draw is a brilliant result for Rangers, very positive. Puts them in fine fettle going into the cup final, but a game against your rivals is totally different than a game here tonight against Spurs.
I suppose you could almost contrast the confidence that each side will walk away with. As you say, Rangers will have that little bit of a spring in their step going to Hampden, but Spurs, so many questions still to be answered about the confidence levels, the fact that they're just not performing, they're not turning it on for the manager. Yeah, and I watched a lot of Celtic under Ange Postecoglou, and I was looking to see the same type of themes and passages of play that I used to see under Celtic, and there weren't too many, if I'm being honest. The wide men were coming to feet, and the midfielders, it's almost like the confidence is not quite at the level, and instead of being a little bit brave and staying away from the game and waiting to the ball comes into your area, a lot of the players are coming and want to get a touch of the ball, and they're coming deeper and deeper, and then when they go and get an opportunity maybe to turn and play that forward pass, they're actually supposed to be playing it into the area they should be in rather than where they are. So there is definitely a lack of confidence. Is it a lack of freshness? Is Ange Postecoglou able to bring in like for like in terms of quality and energy into the side? I'm not so sure, but it's just a little bit off the Ange Postecoglou Celtic side
as what I seen tonight.
And
that could be down to confidence, but it just wasn't there tonight.
No, and we talked a lot about the Celtic connection with Ange, but also Fraser Forster, former Celtic keeper, of course, and I gather he was getting quite a lot of stick from the Rangers fans, but he made 6 saves, didn't he? So they've got to be really grateful to him tonight, Spurs.
Absolutely, and a lot's been made of Spurs defensively, and it wasn't that they were bombarded or cut open, but Fraser Forster came up with a couple of outstanding saves. I have to say, the one from Dessers, for me personally, looking at it as a forward, they should score it, but the goalkeeper still has to make the save. But the thing that was missing for me was the energy and the threat from Spurs to go and really cause Rangers problems. And you know, thankfully for Spurs, from a Spurs point of view, they had Fraser Forster in goal, because it could have been, you know, a defeat for them. And I don't know if they would have showed as positive a reaction had they gone behind again.
I think, Ali, that's been one relief for Ange Postecoglou, is that, you know, we've spoken about how his sort of second string of central defenders are either too old or too young. Fraser Forster's been a good replacement for Vicario. I think that's 4 or 5 games in a row that he's played. He's probably been Tottenham's best player in 3 of those games. So that is one good thing, is that they've been able to bring in a goalkeeper who's at least able to stand up to the job. None of the recent defeats have been because of him.
Absolutely. Well, interesting to look ahead to the next round of games. That'll be on the 23rd of January in the Europa League, and Spurs will be in Germany, in Hoffenheim, and just over the road from where we are here in Media City, it'll be Manchester United against Rangers, which will be another crack.